This page is the September 1994 cover of Beep, Powerful Mega Magazine Mega Drive. It prominently features Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails, riding on the back of a stylized whale. The main focus of the issue is clearly highlighted as the upcoming Sega Saturn and Super 32X hardware, with previews of key titles like the Sega Saturn versions of Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA. The cover also teases features on various Mega Drive and Mega CD games. For the standard Mega Drive, there's a Treasure Factory Deluxe section mentioning titles like Alien Soldier, Yu Yu Hakusho, Makyo Toitsusen, and Dynamite Headdy, alongside previews or reviews for Sparkster, Contra, Hardcore, Panorama Cotton, Echo, The Tides of Time, Mega Man, The Wily Wars, and Samurai Showdown. The Mega CD press section covers games including Star Wars, Rebel Assault, Jurassic Park, Battlecore, and Lunar, Eternal Blue. A special feature is dedicated to Sega Mega Drive RPGs, highlighting games such as Shining Force CD, Beyond Oasis, Story of Thor, Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes, and After Armageddon Gaiden, Eclipse. The issue also includes a special feature or appendix related to Langrisser 2. Overall, the cover conveys an exciting period, with Sega's new hardware on the horizon, while still supporting the existing Mega Drive and Mega CD library with strong titles. This page is an advertisement for Echo, The Tides of Time, known in Japan as Echo the Dolphin 2. It promotes the action game's release as part of the Mega World Upgrade campaign. This page showcases the Sega CD game Jurassic Park. It's presented as a virtual cinema game, featuring animated dinosaurs, CG scenes for interiors, and live-action film segments for movement. The player takes on the role of a researcher collecting dinosaur eggs in the park. The page also highlights the Mega World Upgrade campaign, which offered prizes like the Sega Pluto, the Super 32X, referred to here as the Mega World Upgrade Booster, Super 32X, to those who purchased eligible hardware like the Mega Drive 2 or Mega CD 2 and entered the lottery. The hardware itself is featured, showing the compact Mega Drive 2, the Mega CD 2 attachment, and the Victor Wonder Mega RGM2, an integrated console with a cordless controller. This page focuses on the Sega CD release of Star Wars, Rebel Assault. Described as an ultimate Star Wars simulator, it features an original story based on the first two iconic films. The game incorporates stunning cutscenes, the familiar Star Wars soundtrack, and immersive voiced dialogue. Players step into the boots of a new rebel recruit, undergoing training before engaging in thrilling dogfights against the Empire. The journey takes you through 15 stages, preparing you for encounters like the assault on the Death Star. Visuals on the page showcase various aspects of the game, including intense space battles with X-Wings and TIE fighters, ground combat featuring ATs, on-foot segments facing stormtroopers, and pixelated cutscenes. Iconic characters like Darth Vader and stormtroopers are also prominently displayed. Release details confirm it's for Mega CD, priced at 8,800 yen, and slated for release in late September. The page also includes standard copyright information for LucasArts and Sega licensing details. This page showcases 3 impressive Mega CD titles from Victor Entertainment, including 2 new 3D games from Core Design, the studio behind Thunderhawk. These games fully utilize the Mega CD's rotation and scaling capabilities for dynamic 3D battles. First up is Battlecore, a powerful 3D robot battle game featuring combat across land, sea, and air. Players experience the action from a cockpit view, navigating large strategic maps and undertaking varied missions that demand tactical thinking. The game includes full-motion video cutscenes and a driving British rock soundtrack. Battlecore is priced at 8,000 yen and was slated for a late September release. Next is Soulstar, a high-speed 360-degree 3D shooter. You embark on a journey through space and inside fortresses across 40 different areas, battling enemies with visuals powered by polygon animation for a sense of speed and dynamic terrain. It supports strategic play with weapon and shield management, and even offers a 2-player cooperative mode. Soulstar is also priced at 8,000 yen, and was due for release in October. Finally, the page features Shadow of the Beast 2. This action-adventure title continues the saga, sending the hero back to the battlefield to rescue his kidnapped sister from the grip of evil. It boasts challenging traps and beautiful graphics brought to life by Psygnosis's renowned Fractal engine. This classic is available now on Mega CD, priced at 8,800 yen. This page is an advertisement for the Amusement Media Academy, recruiting students for the 95 academic year. It presents the academy as a place for outrageous ideas and the dream workshop of the multimedia age, aiming to train professionals connected directly to the production field. Featured prominently are two young women, including Reiko Chiba, who was known for her work in CG animation and potentially other media roles at the time. The academy offers 3 distinct 2-year departments, each with a capacity of 100 students. The Computer Game Creator Department, covering design, scenario writing, programming, and sound. The Game Graphic per Centigram Animation Department, focusing on computer animation, character design, and CG design with the latest technology. And the Voice Actor Talent Department, providing comprehensive training for aspiring voice actors and backing debut auditions. The advertisement lists upcoming information sessions at the Tokyo Ebisu campus, and provides contact details for enrollment inquiries and applications. This academy is clearly positioned as a place to cultivate the next generation of talent in the booming fields of games, graphics, and voice acting. This page is a vibrant advertisement showcasing Konami's arcade hit, Lethal Enforcers 2, the Western, heading to the Sega Mega CD. The page features 2 rugged cowboys, the protagonists, standing guns blazing, in a classic Western town backdrop. The game promises an authentic Wild West experience, with digitized graphics bringing the pioneering era to life. Key features highlighted include enhanced gun sensor response for satisfying quick draws, and exciting new weapons, like Gatling guns and cannons, capable of demolishing parts of the environment. Get ready for intense, fast-paced gun battles, where quick reflexes are paramount. Scheduled for an October release, the Mega CD version allows players to use the light gun peripheral from the original Lethal Enforcers. It's framed as a direct port of the popular arcade game, bringing that coin-op action home. This page is an advertisement for a new magazine titled Hello PC, aimed squarely at complete beginners to personal computers. The vibrant, colorful illustration features a friendly-looking computer character, emphasizing the magazine's approachable nature. Launching on September 8th, Hello PC promises to be the definitive introductory guide, filling a gap left by existing PC magazines that cater more to intermediate users. It aims to demystify the world of personal computers, encouraging hesitant newcomers by providing just the essential information with minimal jargon, making the decision to buy a PC easier. The magazine focuses on revealing the true charm and potential of Cyapaks, guiding users who might feel lost or overwhelmed. Instead of relying solely on abstract theory, Hello PC prioritizes visual content like large illustrations and photos, helping readers grasp complex concepts through intuitive experience. Published monthly by SoftBank, it was priced at an estimated 480 yen, including tax. This page announces the upcoming launch of Game Blast, a new monthly magazine dedicated to personal computer games. With a focus on both domestic and international software, Game Blast promises in-depth reviews and features. The magazine positions itself as a full-fledged publication born from a passion to create a definitive guide for the burgeoning multimedia era, as suggested by the powerful imagery of welding and the currently in production declaration. The first issue is set to hit shelves on October 8th, priced at an estimated 480 yen, with subsequent issues releasing on the 8th of each month. Look forward to its arrival. This page features an advertisement for several RPG-related books from SoftBank Books. The main highlight is the RPG Encyclopedia, Reverse Lookup Monster Guide Eastern Edition, the second volume in the series, which shines a spotlight on creatures from Eastern mythology and folklore. It covers numerous gods, spirits, yokai, and monsters originating from the East, including those appearing in popular RPG series like Megami Tensei, Tengai Makyu, Momotaro Dentetsu, and Oni. Also showcased is the RPG Encyclopedia series itself, listing other volumes such as the Western Edition Monster Guide, Age of Warriors, Shambara Hero Legends, and a Japan edition. Finally, there's a guide specifically for the domestic tabletop RPG Far Roads to Lord, which acts as the first official guide for the series, focusing on replays, rule references, and explaining the world of Ursulum, offering insights for both masters and players. This page features an advertisement for the Super Real Mahjong PIV Original Art and Design Materials Collection book. This official book covers the game's development, showcasing original artwork and design materials for both the arcade and Super Famicom versions. It highlights the smooth anime-like graphics and the popular cute female characters that broke the mold of traditional mahjong games since the series began with Sign Up 2. The book includes character designs and original art by Ryo Tanaka, who has contributed across the entire series. As a special bonus, it comes with a newly drawn A3 poster. The advertisement features key characters from PIV, including Kaori, Yu, and Mana. The book is priced at 2,000 yen and is advertised as popular and currently on sale from SoftBank Books. This page features a large advertisement for the Yoyogi Animation Institute, highlighting its impressive 91.486% average job placement rate for graduates as of 1994. The ad promotes the school's distinct facilities and instructors. It showcases various courses across creative fields like computer animation, game design, manga, voice acting, special effects, and video production, covering everything from foundational art to professional techniques. A screenshot of a pixel art strategy RPG is presented as an example of student work, demonstrating practical application of their skills. The ad also announces the opening of the Fukuoka School's voice actor department and the start of applications for April enrollment in 1995. Additionally, it promotes nationwide free auditions for aspiring voice actors, offering a path to talent discovery. This page is the contents page for the September 1994 issue, highlighting what's inside. The main features include a special report on upcoming titles like Sonic and Knuckles, Lethal Enforcers 2, Mortal Kombat 2, Samurai Showdown, and Fatal Fury Special. There's a new Game Scramble section, covering various new releases such as Captain Tsubasa and Virtual Bart. A significant portion is dedicated to the third volume of the Sega Mega RPG project feature, discussing games like Shining Force CD and Story of Thor, Beyond Oasis. The magazine also delves into games from Treasure, with a Treasure Factory Deluxe feature, mentioning Alien Soldier, Yu Yu Hakusho, Meikyu Toitsusen, and Dynamite Heady. An AM2 Lab Express section provides the latest details on the highly anticipated Sega Saturn versions of Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA. A major special feature showcases what can be seen so far of the Sega Saturn and Super 32X, promising advanced information and screenshots. The B Mega Hot menu covers recent releases like Contra, Hardcore, Panorama Cotton, and Echo, The Tides of Time. Finally, the Mega CD Press section updates readers on new Mega CD titles such as Star Wars, Rebel Assault, Jurassic Park, and Lunar, Eternal Blue. A special appendix for Langrisser 2 is also included. 2 game screenshots are displayed on the right side of the page. June 1994 sales rankings for Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear software show a surge of new releases, led by Super Street Fighter II, followed by Shin Seikoi Ragnarsenti, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Other notable new entries include Glee Lancer 2 and Mortal Kombat Complete Edition, the latter attracting attention for its mature content. The overall sales momentum is perceived as moderate, considering the upcoming next-generation consoles. Arcade rankings remain stable, with popular titles like Ridge Racer, Virtua Fighter, and Daytona USA continuing to dominate. Fighting and action games, including Alien vs. Predator and Super Street Fighter 2X, also perform strongly in the arcade market. This page dives into the desires and anticipation of Mega Drive users. The top section focuses on the transplant wish list, highlighting games from arcades, CES, and other platforms that players desperately want to see ported to the Mega Drive. Topping the list are major titles like the Final Fantasy series, Virtua Fighter, and Princess Maker, alongside popular arcade hits like Super Street Fighter 2X, Ridge Racer, Snatcher, Alien vs. Predator, and Captain Commando. It seems players are keen to bring the best of other systems over. The page also features highlights for Lethal Enforcers 2, a Western-themed light gun shooter, and Fatal Fury Special, a fighting game, noting their impending arrival or significance. The bottom section shifts to anticipated new games for the Mega Drive itself. This ranking showcases upcoming titles that have the community buzzing. Leading the charge are titles like the highly anticipated RPG Lunar Eternal Blue, the strategy RPG Langrisser 2, and the fighting game Yu Yu Hakusho, Makyo Toitsusen, which is exciting fans with its 4-player capability developed by Treasure. The page notes the emergence of Super 32X compatible games in this list, hoping they will boost the rankings. Featured upcoming games include VR Deluxe, a racing title, and Echo the Dolphin 2, promising improved animation and 3D elements. The sentiment here is one of hope for these new releases to push the platform forward. This page previews upcoming games: Panorama Cotton and Echo the Dolphin 2. Panorama Cotton, a 3D arcade shooter sequel, features Cotton and Silk, 5 stages, and receives mixed reviews. Beginner Girl and a foreign game user praise its visuals and pace, 8, 7 respectively, while Game Mania Group finds its presentation weak, 5, and a general user finds it decent, 7. Echo the Dolphin 2, with improved 3D visuals and 30 stages, is also reviewed. Game Mania Group praises the graphics but dislikes the lack of serene areas, 6. The general user sees growth, but feels the SF scenario weakens the original, 7. The page also previews BeepMD Race, a simulation game releasing August 8 to September 7, and details the review system. This page features the BeepMD review section, showcasing several upcoming games. The highly anticipated strategy RPG sequel, Langrisser 2, takes center stage with an impressive average score of 7.75. Reviewers praise its enhanced story volume, improved command system, and detailed animations, noting it builds significantly upon its predecessor, Warsong. Screenshots display the game's tactical battles and character portraits. Also reviewed are 2 sports titles: Popeye's Beach Volleyball and Dunk Kids, a street basketball game. Popeye's Beach Volleyball, featuring the classic character, receives an average score of 5.5. While some enjoy its simple, fun approach, others find the gameplay basic. Dunk Kids scores lower at 4.75, with criticism directed at its slow movement and simple content, despite featuring communication matches. The editorial summary points out the trend of sequels this month, and notes Langrisser 2's strong performance. Individual reviewers offer their personal recommendations, mentioning games from this page like Langrisser 2 and Popeye, as well as titles reviewed previously such as Panorama Cotton and Echo the Dolphin 2. The BeepMD Readers Race is a reader-voted ranking and review system for Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear games. Readers rate games out of 10, influencing a leaderboard much like a horse race. A table ranks over 60 games, highlighting prominent titles like Phantasy Star and Sonic. Featured reviews for Shinsou Seiki Ragna Senti, ranked 29th, and Super Street Fighter 2, ranked 33rd, detail strengths and weaknesses based on reader feedback. Recent game releases impacted the overall ranking, and Super Street Fighter 2's performance may reflect user expectations. Telltale Mahjong is also listed outside the main ranking. This page continues the BeepMD Readers Race Rankings, diving deeper into the community's ratings for Mega Drive and Mega CD titles. It features detailed reviews for several games based on reader feedback. We see a breakdown of reader scores for Kamen Rider Zo on Mega CD, noted for its faithful adaptation of the movie source material, though some found the gameplay lacking. FIFA International Soccer is highlighted for its lively player movement and atmosphere, despite some complaints about controls. Tecmo Super NBA Basketball gets a mention, with readers appreciating the realistic data, but criticizing stiff player animation and speed. The wildly popular NBA Jam also receives a review, praised for its speed and exciting dunks in competitive play. Further down, Mortal Kombat Complete Edition on Mega CD is reviewed positively for its superior presentation and faithful port compared to other versions. Finally, Eye of the Beholder is discussed as a popular overseas RPG that made its way to the Mega CD, noted for its lighter feel compared to other dungeon crawlers, though some wished for more content. The large table on the right lists rankings for games from spot 64 down to 142, showing their position, previous rank, title, genre, and average reader score. It continues the extensive list of ranked titles from the BeepMD Readers Race. The next page continues the BeepMD Readers Race Rankings, featuring several games that garnered significant reader feedback, both positive and negative. Prominently displayed are reviews for titles deemed either single horses or cautionary horses by the readers. Fatal Fury 2, ranked at 295, is noted for its significant changes from the arcade version, leading to balance issues and a lack of scoring that disappointed some fans, despite its overall popularity. Further down, several titles are highlighted as requiring caution. Sengoku, ranked 333, is described as having great music and voice acting, but suffers from slow pacing and visuals that don't quite live up to expectations, with some missing features like two-player mode compared to other versions. Record of Lodoss War, Heroic Legend, at 379, is criticized for its sluggish combat reminiscent of Shining Force and disappointing presentation, despite being based on the popular anime. Maten no Sumetsu, ranking 438, receives particularly harsh feedback for its graphics, production values, and overall lack of polish, leaving readers feeling let down after the wait. Finally, F1 Circus CD, at 445, is called out for its poor balance and difficulty, making the racing experience frustrating. There's also a small note suggesting Rise of the Dragon is a worthwhile pickup, now that it's available for around 1,000 yen. The main ranking table on the left lists games from 143 down to 221, detailing their positions and reader scores. The next page continues. The B Mega Readers Race, with a section from a magazine reporter highlighting games they see as potential middle horses in the rankings. A significant portion is dedicated to Illusion City on Mega CD, a port of the MSX Turbo R title. The reviewer, London Kobayashi, praises its unique cyberpunk world fused with fantasy, likening it to a mix of Blade Runner and monster fiction. They highlight the eccentric characters and the game's niche, yet freely playable, nature. The article notes the Mega CD version is a remarkably faithful port of the MSX original. Reader scores were high at 8.05, but the magazine score was notably lower at 5.25. Below that, under My Recommended Horse, the reviewer praises Mo Mo Mo, a classic Toplan shooter. They note its consistent popularity in the reader rankings and commend its adjustable difficulty and satisfying power-up system, calling it a solid entry in the genre. There are also brief mentions of other games. GG Aleste is highlighted as a rare cult classic worth seeking out. T2. The arcade game is listed as a resting horse, an arcade port that saw a troubled release and received a low score. The right side of the page continues the reader ranking odds table, listing games from rank 222 down to 300, showing their average reader scores, including titles like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Mystical Fighter, and Rent a Hero. This page continues the B Mega Readers Race rankings for the Mega Drive and Mega CD, showing games from rank 301 downwards in the odds table E. It then switches focus to the Game Gear with its own dedicated Readers Race section. The Game Gear odds table GG lists games ranked from 1 downwards based on reader votes. Featured as a favorite horse is Madu Monogatari 2. Arl 16, Sai. The review highlights its improved gameplay over its predecessor and praises the visual design and voice acting. Despite some challenges and a somewhat anticlimactic ending, it received a high reader score of 8.7234, though the magazine score was lower. Another favorite horse is Ariel, the Legend of Forever, ranked 9th. The review notes the introduction of the Element system and compares its strategic battles to the Shining Force series. While praising the original character designs, it mentions issues with the revival system and controls, but finds the ability to recruit defeated monsters a positive point, despite repetitive progression. Finally, Pac-Man is featured as an opposing horse, ranked 23rd. The review finds the scrolling maze experience not too difficult, but points out significant issues with the controls, stating it's difficult to turn as intended, making it surprisingly challenging despite being a classic. The section concludes by specifically calling out the strong performance of the Madu Monogatari titles in the Game Gear rankings. This page continues the reader feedback section, showcasing Game Gear titles that performed well below the top ranks. First up is Eternal Legend, a Game Gear RPG ranking 24th. Despite its modest 2 MB size, readers praised its volume, story, and moving ending, earning a reader average of 7.6176. However, the magazine review pointed out slow movement speed. Next, at 28th place, is the Game Gear version of Mortal Kombat. Reviewers were impressed by the character animation quality for a GG title, but noted difficulties executing special moves with the D-pad. The presence of blood mode adds intensity, contributing to its reader average of 7.5384. The editorial staff weighs in, commenting on the unexpected rush of new releases impacting the lower ranks, and hinting at a surprising shift involving someone or something referred to as Sodan, and a rescue plan, Readers are also invited to participate in the BeepMD Reader race for Mega Drive and Mega CD games by sending in their opinions and desired software. The magazine also presents 2 prediction games: guessing the final ranking of Shining Force CD and predicting the average score Dynamite Headdy will receive upon its debut in the reader rankings. Finally, the page features Skitchin, described as a rollerblade version of Road Rash, showcasing its fast-paced comical action as a potential prize. The ranking table for Mega Drive and Mega CD games continues, listing titles from 372 downwards. This page brings us exciting news and information from the world of Sega. First up is a feature on the new Sega Joytopolis indoor theme park in Yokohama. Described as a great summer spot for Sega fans, it features a large area with various attractions including VR experiences, arcade games, and entertainment options. A third location is also planned for Chiba in November. Next, the page announces the opening of GameSoul, a chain of specialty stores for digital media character goods in Tokyo and Osaka. These stores focus on merchandise featuring popular characters like Sonic, Street Fighter, and Pac-Man, targeting younger adults and planning to expand nationally. Images show the store layout and various Sonic-themed items like t-shirts and bags. The page also covers events, highlighting the hot anime movie, Sutsugyu Densetsu, Burning Hearts. Its premiere event was a big success, with fans and cast members attending. Another event featured is a unique Puyo Puyo Battle Walk that took place in Shibuya, where fans used their Game Gears. For those interested in game creation, a game school is offering trial enrollment days and a summer school program. Finally, there's a large-scale Battle Action World event dedicated to Street Fighter II. Held at a hotel, this exhibit recreates game stages for a sensory experience, includes a game tournament, a cosplay area, and displays setting materials for fans to enjoy. This page shifts gears slightly, leading with news from a competitor. It features a report on a PlayStation software trial event held by Sony, where playable demos of games like Aquanauts Holiday and Philosoma were shown, highlighting the console's polygon capabilities. However, the bulk of the page focuses on Sega CM information. There's a spotlight on the incredible claymation television commercial for Dynamite Headdy. The reviewer is particularly impressed with how accurately the clay models capture the look of the in-game characters, praising the craftsmanship and calling it a masterpiece. Production details are included, highlighting the effort involved in creating this unique advertisement. Another CM featured is for the J-League Pro Striker series. This commercial apparently surprised the reviewer by showing a Mega Drive console and having characters pop out, noting the special costumes worn by the people involved in the complex synthesis used for the ad. Finally, there's a small piece of information about a Yu Yu Hakusho, Meikyu Tweetsuzen cosplay event and game tournament happening in Nagoya later in August. This page showcases new music releases, many of which are tied to the world of gaming, and features an interview with a singer-songwriter. The new release section presents several CD albums. Of particular interest are the game soundtracks, including the Popful Mail Soundbox 94, which is notable for collecting original sound from the Mega Drive, PC, and Super Famicom versions, plus a vocal remix of the ending theme. Also featured are the World Heroes 2 Jet Image album with vocal arrangements, the Street Fighter II anime soundtrack, and the Namco Game Sound Express Volume 13 for the game Nebulous Gray. The page also includes an interview with singer-songwriter Mitsu Ushiro. Beyond discussing her music and background, she reveals her passion for video games. She recounts her time at the arcade during junior high, where she played games like Gokuju Parodius extensively, and learned tips from the staff. She also mentions spending nights playing RPGs at home, indicating a long-standing connection to gaming. This page presents a special report on the highly anticipated Sonic and Knuckles. Following up on a brief mention last month, this feature dives deeper into the game, presenting a sequence of screenshots from the title screen to reveal more details. The report emphasizes that this isn't just a standard sequel to the traditional Sonic series, but rather part of a larger, super big project surrounding the character. The game is set for release on October 18, 1994, for the Genesis/Mega Drive, though details on price and cartridge capacity are still undecided. The featured title screen sequence shows an dynamic intro where the Sega logo is kicked away, followed by an island appearing with a large spherical object. This object turns out to be Eggman's base, which crashes onto the island. Sonic arrives, and then, confirming the game's title, The rival Knuckles also appears, leading to a confrontation. The screenshots also hint at the ability to choose characters, suggesting both Sonic and Knuckles will be playable. A message from Sega teases new features and secrets in the game that will differ from previous entries. Sega promises that this major project releasing this fall will be full of surprises for Sonic fans worldwide. This page features a special report on Lethal Enforcers 2, The Western. Following up on the highly successful original, this sequel transports the intense gun-shooting action to a Western setting. The report highlights the game's realistic graphics, which are described as impressive compared to earlier titles in the genre. The game was popular in arcades, and many players are expected to already be familiar with it. The page includes various screenshots, including the Game Over screen, the Stage Select menu showing options like Bank Robbery, Stagecoach Holdup, and Saloon Showdown, and several in-game shots depicting the chaotic shootouts. The article briefly touches on some of the stages, mentioning the challenges like obstacles in the bank and enemies on horseback in the stagecoach section, alongside helpful allies you must be careful not to shoot. The saloon stage is noted for its classic Western feel, including breakable environment objects and a climactic quick-draw duel where timing is crucial. The game is noted as being favorably received in the arcade and is set for a release on Mega CD in October 1994. With options for purchasing just the software or a bundle, including the gun peripheral. This page delivers the exciting news that the arcade hit, Lethal Enforcers 2, The Western, is coming to Mega CD. Following up on the previous report, the article showcases screenshots confirming the impressive quality of the port, which appears faithful to the enhanced arcade version. Key features highlighted for the Mega CD release include the ability to select your starting stage, plus the inclusion of new items and bonus stages not found in the original arcade release. The page confirms that owners of the light gun from the first Lethal Enforcers can use it with this sequel, and a software-only package will be available. Specific stages are previewed, including the Stagecoach Robbery, Stage 4, where you fend off bandits on horseback and face a boss aboard the train, and the Mine Hideout, Stage 5, featuring action inside a dark mine with minecarts and an unexpectedly challenging boss waiting within. Developer comments from the US team shed light on the production, mentioning the game was developed in Illinois, but filming for the live-action elements surprisingly took place in Kyoto, Japan, utilizing Konami's US staff as the cast. The report concludes by teasing further details in the next issue. Mortal Kombat 2, a highly anticipated sequel, is slated for release on September 9th. The game features 12 characters, 7 new to the series, including returning boss Shang Tsung. Key returning characters like Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sub-Zero are highlighted, with expanded movesets for Liu Kang and familiar specials for Johnny Cage. Newcomers include Kung Lao, a Shaolin monk, and Reptile, the last of an evolved reptilian race. The game promises increased realism, shocking elements, and numerous elaborate stages. Screenshots showcase the brutal gameplay, including iconic moves like Sub-Zero's freeze and Shang Tsung's transformation. This page delves into the true purpose of the Feast of Slaughter, revealing it was a cursed tournament hosted by Shang Tsung for the Demon Realm. Following Shang Tsung's and Goro's defeat, the demons are now holding their own tournament to gain souls and conquer the human realm. The game is introduced as Ultimate God Fist, Mortal Kombat, noting its price, action genre, and room size. The commentary highlights the evolution from the previous game, promising even more shocking fatalities, and expanding the iconic pit stage to include 3 variations. Character profiles are presented for several fighters, including new combatants Kitana, Jax, Milena, and Baraka, each with a brief backstory and screenshot. Returning fan favorites like Scorpion, Back from the Dead, and Raiden, protecting Earthrealm, are also featured, showcasing the expanded roster and brutal gameplay. This page presents a special report for September 1994, highlighting upcoming fighting game ports for the Mega CD, appearing to meet player expectations. First up is Samurai Showdown, an arcade hit from SNK. This Mega CD port is scheduled for a year-end release by Victor Entertainment. The report emphasizes the team's focus on bringing the game's quality, characters, and backgrounds faithfully to the system. While the port is currently about 50% complete, the sound capabilities of the CD format are noted as a promising feature, with the arrangement being something to look forward to. Screenshots show Haomaru and Earthquake, and the article mentions Nakoru will also be featured, expressing anticipation to see more characters. Following that is Fatal Fury Special, another popular fighting title making its way to Mega CD, also slated for a year-end release by Victor Entertainment. As the third installment in the series, it boasts a large roster of characters, and the report praises the port's seemingly perfect quality and smooth character animations. Screenshots feature Terry Bogard and Gailey Bogard, showcasing the fluid gameplay, including the series' characteristic mechanics like the challenge action. The article notes that while the female characters are reserved for the next issue, the current build is highly promising, making players eager to get their hands on the game. This page continues the special report on upcoming fighting games for the Mega CD. First up is more on Samurai Shodown, the popular SNK weapons fighter. It highlights Haomaru's signature moves, showing off special techniques like the Cyclone Slash and Crescent Moon Slash, as well as his throws. The article emphasizes the game's faithful reproduction of the arcade version's intense action and character details on the Mega CD. Next, the focus shifts to Fatal Fury Special, another arcade powerhouse making its way to the system. This section showcases some of the series' iconic special move clashes, such as Terry Bogard's Burn Knuckle against Joe Higashi's Power Wave, and Axel Hawk's Crack Shoot versus Terry's Rising Tackle. It also features a stunning look at the game's detailed backgrounds, presenting stages including Tanfu Ru's China-inspired level, Axel Hawk's Rooftop Ring, Billy Kane's London Bridge Stage, and Wolfgang Krauser's Grand Final Arena. The report praises the visual fidelity of these stages. Both titles appear to be shaping up as strong contenders for fighting game fans on the Mega CD. This page continues the special report on fighting games coming to the Mega CD, focusing on Samurai Shodown and Fatal Fury Special. First, the article highlights Nakoru from Samurai Shodown, showing her moving in a prototype version of the game. It notes that Haomaru and Jubei Yamada are confirmed for the next Samurai Shodown title, and mentions anticipation for new special moves. Screenshots show Nakoru fighting on Charlotte's indoor stage and Wanfu's Rocky Cave stage, giving a look at the Mega CD version's visuals, which are stated to surpass cartridge versions in terms of graphic patterns. The report then moves to Fatal Fury Special, announcing that numerous techniques for the game are complete. It touches upon the unique system mechanics like line switching, dodging, and hidden super special moves. The game boasts 15+1 characters, and the sound is expected to be impressive. The article also mentions that some Fatal Fury characters appear in the King of Fighters 94. Screenshots display intense battles and special moves, including Andy Bogard versus Joe Higashi, Terry Bogard against Axel Hawk, and a powerful power geyser attack on the boxing ring stage, demonstrating the game's completed moves and detailed backgrounds like Andy's Japanese Garden and Axel Hawk's Rooftop Ring. The excitement for these upcoming Mega CD fighters is palpable. This page features a new release scramble, catching up on upcoming software. First up is a look at Captain Tsubasa coming to Mega CD. This version builds on the previous installments but adds significant visual scenes, totaling around 120 minutes. Bringing the manga's story and dramatic moments to life, with voice acting from the anime cast. It retains the familiar system, and includes a two-player versus mode, promising intense matches between friends. The article highlights the hot scenario mode, and shows dynamic character portraits of Kojiro Hyuga and Taro Misaki. Next is Tecmo Super Bowl II, working title, a highly anticipated sequel praised for its high degree of completion. This NFL-licensed game features real team and player names, with updated 94 season data. Key additions include 3 years of NFL schedules, an auto-schedule feature that changes game matchups based on previous year's performance, a trade mode for players, and vastly expanded offensive and defensive plays. 128 patterns. The article notes the series' strength in American football strategy. A side panel also lists Virtual Bart and Starblade among the new releases. The page conveys excitement for these diverse upcoming titles. This page continues the new release scramble. First up is Virtual Bart, featuring the Simpsons Bart Simpson trapped in a virtual reality machine, challenging 6 bizarre VR games to escape. The screenshots show a variety of gameplay styles, from riding a dinosaur and escaping a nuclear plant on a motorcycle, to a baby climbing away from a truck, a waterslide race, rescuing pigs from being canned, and even throwing tomatoes at computer classmates. It looks like a wild and varied collection from Acclaim Japan. Next, we have the Mega CD port of Namco's classic polygon 3D shooting game, Starblade. While the characters are rendered in wireframe unlike the arcade version, the speed is reportedly arcade-like, and it boasts compatibility with the Sega mouse and analog controllers for that authentic cockpit feel. It's exciting to see this arcade masterpiece brought to the Mega CD. Rounding out the page is a look at some other interesting news. A unique Iowa-branded machine called the CSDG M1 is featured. This isn't just a game console, it's a Mega Drive and Mega CD integrated unit with a karaoke function, built into a large boombox. It's a rather unusual piece of hardware. There's also a brief mention that Ristar, referred to as Mina in Wonderland here but confirmed as Ristar, is nearing completion, noted for being a friendly shooting star with minigames. This page is dedicated to the Mega RPG project, highlighting the Sega Mega CD title, Shining Force CD. This is presented as the third installment of the project, focusing on the game's substantial volume across its 3 scenarios. The article first introduces Scenario 2, titled Awakening of the Evil God, setting the stage with screenshots showing the introduction of the true enemy, IOHM, and the main characters, Nick and Shu, who embark on a quest to confront him. Character portraits for IOHM, Nick, and Shu are displayed alongside battle scenes. Following this, the page provides strategy advice for the first chapter of Adventures of the Stay-at-Home Unit, which is Scenario 1. Specifically, it details the strategy for Battle 1 at Cypress Castle. After Nick and the main force depart, a reserve unit, including the protagonists Shu, Mayfair, Bill, Aaron, and Kraid, is left behind. They are soon attacked by Gordon's forces. The advice for this initial battle emphasizes careful play due to the party's low stats, recommending luring enemies towards the center of the map and taking them down one by one, facing foes like goblins, skeletons, and dragonutes. This page continues the Mega RPG project coverage, focusing on Shining Force CD, and specifically offering strategy advice for Chapter 2, titled Iom's Scheme. Detailed here are key battles from this chapter, starting with Battle 5, located before a hut. The story involves pursuing Graham, a character connected to the theft of the evil sword. Strategy here warns about dark mages who can deal significant magic damage, and emphasizes careful movement in the somewhat confined area. Next up is Battle 7, taking place inside El Mito Castle. The narrative sees the team entering El Mito territory while tracking the evil sword, only to find the castle's captain, Chester, trapped by Iom's monsters. Upon discovering the true king has been killed and replaced by Gordon, Chester joins the party out of anger. This battle is fought on a very narrow map, where powerful enemies attack from the start, requiring strategic positioning, especially for lower-level characters. New party members, Chester, an elf sniper, and Marion, a fusiling royal sorcerer, are introduced after this battle. Finally, Battle 8 covers the underground passage. Following the events at El Mito Castle, Marion guides the team through a dark dungeon where Gordon has fled. The strategy highlights the presence of tough enemies, including priests who can heal foes, making them a priority target. The ultimate goal here is a confrontation with Gordon himself to recover the evil sword. Shining Force CD's Chapter 3, The Dark Tower, begins with Battle 11 on a ship, revealed as an enemy trap. Battle 13 takes place on a vine-climbing cliff, with a narrow, challenging route. Battle 15 involves the Dark Tower, built by villagers under Iom's coercion, featuring the boss Solo. The strategy emphasizes careful movement due to Solo's barriers. A Sega commemoration event is also announced, requiring a hidden text answer for prizes. This page unveils the anticipated action RPG, Story of Thor, known internationally as Beyond Oasis. Developed by Ancient, the studio behind Streets of Rage 2, the game promises intense action. The protagonist boasts an impressive animation count, exceeding 550, dwarfing typical action titles of the era. The page highlights user-friendly features crucial for an action-heavy game, including multiple save points, accessible outside dungeons, and easy menu navigation, particularly with a 6-button controller. A clear map is also shown. A significant part of the gameplay revolves around summoning spirits. 4 types are mentioned, with the water spirit Dewey, focused on healing, and the powerful fire spirit Ifrit being introduced. These spirits aid in combat and puzzle solving, adding depth to the adventure. The included prologue hints at a grand backstory involving a war between the bearers of the golden and silver armlets and the sacrifice made to seal evil, setting the stage for the player's quest. This page continues the report on the highly anticipated action RPG, Story of Thor, known internationally as Beyond Oasis. It features a special interview with Yuzo Koshiro, the renowned composer and head of Ancients, the studio developing the game. Koshiro discusses the decision to create an action RPG, an Ancients' approach to game design. The interview covers various aspects, including the game's development status, the unique world design envisioned by Ayano Koshiro, and the game's combat system, emphasizing the strategic use of skills and the importance of the summoned spirits beyond just combat. The developers highlight the depth of the game, suggesting players will discover many secrets and abilities. Naturally, the interview touches upon the music, a key element in a Koshiro title. It's noted that the sound design, including effects and the integration of background music, is being pushed to its limits on the system. The page also includes a profile on Yuzo Koshiro and Ancients, mentioning their work on titles like the Streets of Rage series music and the Game Gear version of Sonic the Hedgehog, developed by Ancients. A photo of the development team is featured, showing Yuzo Koshiro, Ayano Koshiro, and key programmers and planners, underscoring the familial and dedicated nature of the studio behind this promising title. This page delves into Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes, Chapter 4, The Enchanted Kingdom, for the Mega Drive. It's highlighted as a well-executed port of the popular Nihon Falcom PC game from 5 years prior, praised for its faithful adaptation. The report catches readers up on the adventure of Prince Celios, who seeks vengeance against Akudam for his father's death, joined by a diverse group of companions including Liunin, Sonia, Ro, and Jalil. Their pursuit leads them towards the kingdom of Soldis, but a critical obstacle blocks the only path, a cave entrance, impassable due to fallen rocks. Explosives are needed, but scarce, and their best hope might lie with the pirate board, despite previous conflicts. The page introduces the main characters, detailing their roles and backgrounds, and features screenshots showcasing the game's graphics and key locations like towns and the blocked cave. It gives a hint that players will need to secure multiple bombs to proceed. This page continues the report on Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes for the Mega Drive. Having reached the kingdom of Soldis, after obtaining explosives for the cave, the focus shifts to Bazoon Moon's castle. An unusual situation is developing in the castle town. The men have vanished, reportedly captivated by a beautiful dancer who arrived recently and went to the castle, never to return. Upon entering the castle, it is revealed that the king himself is entranced and dancing with the mysterious performer, surrounded by the missing men. Even Queen Klee seems to be absent. The report asks how the king could be affected and suggests helping Queen Klee. The page also showcases several monsters encountered in the game, including the unique flower lizard, Odeon, giant ape, imp, which can cause sleep, and Kiba Inoshishi. The lower half introduces a new title, Demon Beast Combat Chronicle Eclipse, a side story set in the world of the cult classic Last Armageddon. This grim future sees the demon race ruling Earth after humanity annihilated itself with nuclear weapons. The few human survivors have become livestock for demons, mirroring how humans once treated animals. The story follows 5 demons who are the main characters, journeying in search of battle. Screenshots depict a world map and a turn-based battle scene featuring the demon protagonists and their stats. The game is noted as planned for release on the Sega CD. This page introduces the Laseractive Library, highlighting Melon Brains, a substantial title focused entirely on dolphins. Described as an edutainment experience, it packs a wealth of research data and information about dolphins onto a single 30 cm disc. The content is split into 2 main sides. The Who Are the Dolphins side focuses on providing data, covering habitats, research findings, Q&A, myths, and even a fun CG section with interactive dolphins. The Dolphin Odyssey side aims for a more experiential approach, allowing viewers to feel the dolphins through beautiful underwater photography and video footage. The page also provides an update on upcoming Geldrum Squared titles for the Mega LD system. Beyond Melon Brains, Pioneer is developing Vajra 2, a 3D shooting game featuring intense aerial combat, shown with a futuristic screenshot. River Hill Soft, known for the J.B. Harold Mystery Series, is preparing a new entry titled Blue Chicago Blues. This detective adventure stars the iconic J.B. Harold himself, tasked with solving a murder case in the scenic setting of Chicago, requiring players to act quickly to crack the case before it goes cold, depicted with a classic hard-boiled character image. This page showcases upcoming Laseractive titles. First up is Zapping, Murderous Intent, presented as an interactive movie with a unique concept, allowing viewers to switch between two simultaneous storylines featuring characters like Stefan and Christine, promising a different perspective on the unfolding drama. It's scheduled for an August 25th release. Below that is Ghost Thrash, an action-adventure game where players engage in ghost hunting within a mansion that transforms into a dynamic 3D dungeon. The gameplay involves encountering and capturing various monsters, utilizing a ghost hand item. Captured monsters can be sold to purchase stronger items. The page features screenshots of the 3D environments and some distinct monster designs. This title is planned for an October release. Related to Ghost Thrash, Pioneer is running two events: a monster naming contest where players can submit names for two specific monster characters shown, and a special playtest session for readers to experience the game before it's released. This page features a deep dive into Treasure Corporation, titled Treasure Factory Deluxe. The article highlights their recent and upcoming games, including Dynamite Headdy, Yu Yu Hakusho, Makyo Toitsusen, Tournament Tactics, and the new title, Alien Soldier. It focuses on Treasure's impact on the Mega Drive scene and their return with exciting action games. The page confirms that Gunstar Heroes, a highly anticipated action title from Treasure, is releasing this month. The feature includes an interview with Treasure's president, Masato Maegawa, who discusses the success of Gunstar Heroes, the company's development philosophy of exceeding player expectations, and future plans, including potential work on Sega Saturn. The artwork includes characters from Dynamite Headdy, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Gunstar Heroes, along with playful summer-themed illustrations, and a photo of President Maegawa. The article also mentions two special reader participation projects related to Treasure. This page is a deep dive into Treasure's explosive action game, Alien Soldier, hailed as the zenith of Mega Drive shooting action for the year. Following up on the intense feeling of Gunstar Heroes, this title is all about non-stop, high-octane combat, particularly focusing on boss encounters, with stages featuring multiple challenging bosses instead of just typical enemies. The article praises the game's graphical prowess, specifically the artistically moving multi-joint characters, highlighting the incredibly detailed and fluid animation of the large character sprites. This impressive scale is noted as the reason for the game being single-player only, a sacrifice made for the visual impact. Players control Epsilon 2, a Birdman warrior in a futuristic Neo-Earth, utilizing various weapon types and abilities like warping and bullet deflection. The page also includes brief mentions of a recurring treasure column and a reader contest related to the company. This page gives us a closer look at some of the unique and often bizarre enemies you'll face in the early stages of Alien Soldier. Featured here are bosses like the proud, snake-like Jet Ripper and his comrade, the android, who mourns Ripper's passing and attacks with corrosive acid. The snake mid-boss, Zero Cutter, is noted for its distinct, squirming movement. Perhaps the most striking is the Honey Viper, a grotesque creature with a surprisingly melancholy backstory about wanting a flower garden rather than combat. The large, red grabber boss is also shown, along with accompanying smaller enemies like little crabs. The descriptions highlight the impressive and often strange animations, from realistic high jumps to sensuous stretching, reinforcing the game's focus on detailed, memorable boss encounters. This page moves on to showcase the formidable Stage 1 boss of Alien Soldier, known as Shine Tiger. This character is described as a mutated organism, capable of deadly attacks like the Flame Tiger Fierce Rip Fist. The magazine highlights his incredibly cool entrance and surprisingly nimble footwork, which you truly have to see in motion to believe. The page also features a fascinating contest for readers, the 7-Force Kaidi Transformation Pattern Contest. Tying into the legacy of the 7-Force boss from Gunstar Heroes, this contest invites fans to design a new transformation for a character named Kaid, using a set of predefined parts. The winning design could potentially be included in the game. Gorgeous prizes were offered, including a Super 32X console, Alien Soldier software, and special phone cards, with a deadline set for the end of September. Yu Yu Hakusho, Makyo Toitsusen, a Treasure-developed Mega Drive fighting game, offers more than a typical fighter. Hidden special moves, diverse stages, and a chaotic 4-player simultaneous battle mode add depth. The game's standout feature is the use of voice clips from the original anime cast, praised for clear audio quality. Character sprites and bios are also included. Developed by Treasure and released by Sega in 1994, the game is a must-play for fans of both Yu Yu Hakusho and fighting games. This page continues the deep dive into Yu Yu Hakusho, Makyo Toitsu Sen, showcasing more of the character's powerful special moves. The focus here is on Hiei, Shinobu Sensui, and Jin. For Hiei, known for his speed and darkness techniques, we see moves like the fearsome Sword of the Darkness Flame and the quick head cutter. Images demonstrate these iconic attacks. Shinobu Sensui, the former spirit detective, is highlighted for his strong kicking techniques that blend offense and defense. His spirit energy gun and rending kick variations are shown, emphasizing his powerful, versatile style. Jin, the Windmaster, utilizes rush attacks and whirlwind techniques. His Asura Whirlwind Fist and Double Whirlwind Fist are featured, alongside the Blast Wind Barrier, which serves as both offense and defense, pushing opponents away. The page also announces the release of the game's original soundtrack, CD. An interview with the music creators, Suzuki and Hata, discusses the process, noting that while some themes are from the anime, much of the music is original and designed to match the characters and stages. They express their passion for the project and hope fans will enjoy the music. A screenshot shows multiple characters in action, and a photo features the two music creators. This page delves into Dynamite Heady, challenging players to hunt for secret bonuses to achieve a target score of 500,000 points. The article explains the scoring system, noting that points from regular enemies are fixed and don't increase from repeated defeat, making secret bonuses crucial for a high score. Stage 1 holds just one secret bonus, involving defeating specific early enemies. The text hints at attacking one enemy's head when it tries to capture others. Stage 2 is packed with 8 secret bonuses, many visible during normal play. However, one elusive bonus involves finding the Otoko, treasure hunter enemy, which reappears on later stages. Further secret bonuses are uncovered by clearing specific bonus rooms featuring a trio of characters, defeating mini-bosses like Dugun's fleeing subordinates, and hitting the Happy Head enemy. The final bonus shown involves destroying the large bounty enemy as it carries the treasure hunter down. The article encourages players to persist and seek out these hidden score opportunities. This page continues the deep dive into Dynamite Heady, offering hints and tips for stages 3, 4, and 5. Stage 3 presents challenges like navigating rolling balls and dealing with a mini-boss that requires careful timing. Stage 4 proves a bit trickier with a boss that reflects attacks and sections that require interacting with the environment, like moving statues to progress, and another boss, Ganko Head, whose attack duration is key. Stage 5 features difficult climbing sections and strategies for defeating enemies like Hammerdecker from advantageous positions, as well as frustrating rotating platforms. The page also includes a fun comic strip illustrating the excitement around the game's release. There's a mention of a special Dynamite Maruyama label for the cartridge. Finally, a high-score contest for Dynamite Heady is announced, with prizes including a Sega 32X, copies of the game, and special phone cards. To enter, players need to clear the game and submit proof of a score of 350,000 points or higher by the end of September. This article compares the Japanese and international versions of Dynamite Heady, highlighting significant differences. Sega of America aimed to make Heady their next mascot, altering the character's design, particularly Maruyama's fiercer expression, and renaming supporting characters. Headcase, Hangman, Bo, Yayoi, a puppet character, was changed to a robot, and the life meter and boss, Rebecca, designs also differed. A creators column by Mr. Kabuso details the 2-year development process, emphasizing the collective effort and personal investment in character art, messages, and maps. The article concludes with illustrations of special phone cards designed by Kabuso for Treasure employees. This page features the Treasure Factory Deluxe section, highlighting 2 major manga inclusions and other content related to Treasure's hit titles. On the left, under the title Powerful 2 Great Manga Included at Once, is the Heady Prologue manga by Mr. Kabuso, the artist known for his vibrant character designs in Dynamite Heady. This marks the first public release of this manga, featuring the game's distinctive characters in action-packed panels, originally planned in full color but presented here in monochrome. Further down, there's a thank you note for illustrations related to Gunstar Heroes, acknowledging the strong reader support that keeps the game's legacy alive, accompanied by an illustration of a character reminiscent of the game's heroes. The central section includes a message from the staff, thanking readers for their postcards and support, mentioning impressions of playing Dynamite Heady and support for Gunstar Heroes. It also provides the editorial department's address for correspondence, A small personal column from Etsuko and Fukuchi is included on the right. Finally, there's a note addressing reader hopes for Gunstar Heroes 2 on the Sega Saturn, stating that while there's interest, Treasure hasn't made a decision yet. The next page features the third part of the short series, Yu Suzuki's Path to Virtua Fighter 2, a travelogue detailing the game's development research trip to China. The article focuses on Suzuki's encounter with a Shaolin master and observing true Shaolin Kung Fu. It describes the powerful yet subtle movements of the master compared to more theatrical performances, highlighting how this experience is intended to inform the realism of Virtua Fighter 2. The page includes photos of the Shaolin master demonstrating techniques, a picture of Yu Suzuki, and a screenshot from Virtua Fighter showing characters in combat, illustrating the connection between the real-world research and the game. The text emphasizes the deep impression made by the master's skill and presence. This page continues the Yu Suzuki's Path to Virtua Fighter 2 series, detailing the research trip to China. The article focuses on the journey to Kangju, renowned as the home of Bajiquan. It describes meeting local martial artists and observing various techniques beyond just Bajiquan, including styles like Eagle Claw and 7-Star Fist. Suzuki even participates in a brief sparring session, highlighting the intensity and reality of the training, noting the physical impact of the techniques firsthand. A sidebar provides a development update, revealing that Drunken Fist is being considered for inclusion in Virtua Fighter 2, and that the character Akira Yuki is being refined. It discusses how the research into different martial arts styles observed during the trip, including Bajiquan, and the techniques used by characters like Lao Chan and Pai Chan, is directly influencing the game's fighting system to ensure realism and depth. The page features a large photograph of Yu Suzuki at a train station during the trip. This page celebrates the release of Shining Force CD, featuring a message from Commander Taguchi discussing the development process and the impending launch of next-generation consoles, highlighting the significant performance leap. The page also showcases a variety of fan submissions in the Sonic Mania section, focusing on cosplay and illustrations related to the Shining Force series. It seems selecting the featured artwork was quite a challenge due to the volume and quality of submissions. There's also a section dedicated to more unusual or humorous fan art. The theme for the next month's submissions is announced as CD. This page features the BeepMD section, primarily focused on reader interactions and letters. The main area is the Heavenly Letters Station, hosted by DJ Panna, who introduces herself as taking over the column and shares her own experiences. She mentions obtaining a Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, and playing MegaDrive, possibly a shorthand for a specific game or just the console itself, highlighting her beginner status. Another significant part is the MegaDrive Talk section, where readers share their stories. One reader recounts having a crush and an awkward encounter involving his wallet and a police officer, mentioning being drawn to Min-chan. Another talks about buying a Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, after seeing a friend play Sonic the Hedgehog 3, initially doubting the purchase but now enjoying it. A third reader is looking forward to the eternal port of Virtua Fighter, expressing congratulations to Super Rich, and mentioning owning an I, which likely refers to the NECPC engine, C-Drum Squared expansion unit, or similar peripheral. There's also a question asking if anyone knows where to buy Crew Ball in the Kanagawa area. Finally, there's a section titled, This Month's BGM, lamenting the lack of submissions for the requested background music theme and instead introducing a mysterious CD giveaway. The CD, titled Olio, is an independently produced original by music staff who work for a game company. 5 readers will receive this unique CD. The page encourages submissions for the next month's BGM theme, which is Puyo Puyo. This page delves into the BeepMD reader submission section, opening with This Month's Argument, which tackles the hot topic of 3D CG and polygons. The central question posed is whether players are already tired of 3D CG, but the consensus among the featured reader opinions leans towards the idea that polygons represent a new and promising field, far from being exhausted. Readers discuss the challenges and potential of 3D graphics, seeing it as an expansion of the gaming world rather than a replacement for 2Ds. Below the main discussion, the page previews the theme for the next month's debate, whether the Sega Saturn will come with 1 or 2 controllers. The lower portion is dedicated to reader-submitted illustrations and short comics. These showcase a variety of artistic styles and touch upon different gaming and pop culture references, including nods to Samurai Showdown, Mobile Suit Gundam, Sonic the Hedgehog, and even a desire for a table tennis game on the Mega Drive, specifically referencing the popular Inachu Table Tennis Club manga. The artwork provides a glimpse into the diverse interests and creative talents within the Mega Drive community. This page features RAR's voice, a section titled, Speak Your Mind, to the Game Industry, where readers share their opinions, aiming for their voices to influence the Mega Drive. Readers comment on the evolution of hardware and polygon graphics, noting the lack of analog controllers for the Mega Drive, 32X, and Saturn, despite the rise of detailed simulators like driving and flight games, suggesting they should be produced. One reader discusses the unique oil painting-like art style of the game Yumemi Yakata and its upcoming sequel. Another expresses frustration with the increasing difficulty in their favorite shooting games, fearing it might deter players. There's a suggestion for a crossover game featuring classic Sega characters like Flicky, Opa Opa, Alex Kidd, and Sonic, where the character choice affects the music, tapping into reader nostalgia. The page also ponders the role of game magazines as the industry moves into the next generation. Below this main section is A Word from Beeple, offering shorter reader comments on various topics, including Echo the Dolphin 2, Sailor Moon, Toaplan Games, the Sega Channel, and the developer Tenjin, alongside personal notes. The Illustration City section is also present, showcasing reader artwork, notably featuring characters from the Bakusu Kozu series. This page features the results of 2 reader contests. First, the Super Junk Present announces winners for the Room and T-shirt and Me essay contest, with heartfelt entries including one mentioning a beloved Sonic and Tails t-shirt and expressing sadness. The next contest theme is experiences related to medicine. The Aim for the Ideal Game World, Project G.OB, showcases reader-submitted character designs for a potential game, noting a trend towards spiritual and esoteric concepts like hermits and practitioners. They are now seeking character designers for the next phase of this project. Finally, the D-Rumors Truth section provides industry gossip, touching on various topics including a Super Puyo Puyo 2 TV commercial potentially using subliminal messages, the surprising appeal of the GOB corner to Game Boy players, character concepts like someone named Riku or similar, and the harsh treatment of Adam from Streets of Rage. The developer of Dynamite Headdy, a leak regarding Sailor Mars, mentions of J-League teams like Verity Kawasaki and Jeff United Ichihara, Sonic merchandise such as the Sonic Promise Ring, and the Sega Saturn version of Virtua Fighter and Bug. This page dives into various reader-submitted content and magazine features. The fetish-specific recommended software section humorously explores games appealing to niche interests, with this month's theme being Butt, highlighting Monster World IV, and a specific scene featuring the character Arsha. There's a section dedicated to the game Rent a Hero, possibly featuring lyrics or a write-up titled Downtown Legend. Game and Life Wisdom offers practical tips for enhancing your gaming experience, including a peculiar suggestion involving a fan and a helmet while playing Heavenly Symphony. The Mega Driver's slang segment lists unique terms used by Mega Drive fans, such as one describing the rivalry between Super Famicom and Mega Drive owners. The Mega Drive Mania cartoon depicts a gamer's intense focus. Readers are encouraged to submit their own 4-panel comics and game music jingles. Information boxes provide general chat and further rumors from the Mega Drive scene. Finally, the page lists winners for a software giveaway and references several other titles from page 99, including Hybrid Front, Dragon Slayer, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dynamite Headdy, Shining Force CD, Pulseman, and Echo the Dolphin 2. This page kicks off with the latest news on the highly anticipated Puyo Puyo 2. It details several exciting changes from the previous game, like a massive increase in unique enemy characters, vertical scrolling, and a strategic new pair annihilation mode, where you can counter incoming garbage Puyos by forming chains yourself. They also mention the inclusion of the hard Puyo rule, and the ability to battle multiple opponents against the CPU. There's also a feature focusing on the Madu Monogatari series and its ties to Puyo Puyo. It covers an attempt to interview Arle Naja about her confidence in Madu Monogatari 2i, though she simply gave a V-sign and vanished into the magic school. An illustration shows a 16-year-old Arle confidently giving the V-sign. Other sections include this month's quiz related to Arle's rules in Puyo Puyo, reader-submitted illustrations featuring characters like Harpy, Draco Centauros, Arle Naja, and Satan, and a brief editor's comic strip. The gallery section apologizes for delays in contest results, but shows more character art. Bullseye Store is having a huge summer sale, highlighting Koei strategy games like Nobunaga's Ambition and Romance of the Three Kingdoms at discounted prices. The page caters to various gamer types, from dedicated travelers to those preferring online ordering. A wide selection of Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear games, including Thunder Force IV, Gunstar Heroes, and Streets of Rage 2, are featured at different price points. Newly arrived games like Dynamite Headdy and Langrisser 2 are heavily discounted. The sale also includes deals on Mega Drive 2 and Mega CD 2 consoles, along with accessories like the GG+1 and a Mickey Mouse back. The page concludes with store contact information and details on services like next-day delivery and pre-order benefits. This page is a large advertisement for a store called Santa, a Sega specialist shop running a summer super special sale valid until September 7th. They are emphasizing that due to high demand, popular software should be bought quickly. The ad features various Sega hardware and software. Key offerings include the Mega Drive's video unit for enhanced video output, consoles like the Wonder Mega 2, Mega Drive 2, and Mega CD 2, all listed with prices. There are extensive lists of games available for Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear, covering a vast selection from new releases like Dynamite Headdy and Langrisser 2 to older titles, many categorized into budget price corners ranging from 500 yen to 3,500 yen. The store offers mail order via postal transfer, phone, or fax, with details on shipping costs provided. This page is a strategy special for Langrisser 2, titled Langrisser 2, From Scenario 1 to 20, Everything Revealed at Once. It covers the highly anticipated sequel to Langrisser, which was released by Messiah on August 26th for 9,800 yen on SLG 16M plus BB. The article highlights that the game's capacity has significantly increased from 4 meters to 16 meters, resulting in a work that surpasses its predecessor in every aspect and is a must-play for fans and newcomers alike. This feature presents various data, focusing here on the introductory scenarios. The main section details the game's opening premise. Elwyn, a young girl targeted by the Rhaegar Empire, embarks on a journey with Harrians and Scott to the Temple of Light for safety. Due to an Imperial attack on the temple, their path changes, and following Sherry's advice, they head to Calzarth Castle. The story hints at the involvement of the Sword of Darkness, Al-Hazard. The guide specifically covers scenarios 1 through 10, explaining that the initial goal is to protect Lyanna, setting up the core story before shifting focus from scenario 10 onwards. The article then breaks down each of the first 10 scenarios with a small screenshot and a brief description of the objective or key events, such as characters joining the party or boss encounters. Characters like Hein, Scott, Lyanna, Sherry, Aaron, and key antagonists like Bardor and Zolm are mentioned in the scenario descriptions. This page continues the strategy guide for Langrisser 2, detailing scenarios 11 and 12. Scenario 11, titled In the Flames, sees the party guided by Lester to seek the ancient wizard Jessica, said to have lived for hundreds of years. They aim to prevent the complete resurrection of the Sword of Darkness, Al-Hazard, by acquiring the Dark Sword before the Empire. However, Egbert, an advisor to the Rhaegar Empire leading the Black Dragon Squadron, has laid a trap. The victory condition is defeating all enemies, while defeat occurs if Elwyn or Jessica falls. A unique challenge here is the advancing flames on the map. Players must quickly move south to avoid them. The guide notes the appearance of Egbert, though he is a temporary character, and the formal introduction of Jessica. Scenario 12, Holy Land Raytel, takes the party to a hidden cave entrance within a rocky area, leading to a sanctuary where the Dark Sword is sealed. The entrance is cleverly concealed. Inside the cave, ancient guardians lie in wait to repel intruders. The victory conditions are defeating all enemies or acquiring the Dark Sword, with defeat resulting from Elwyn's death. This scenario features powerful magic creatures like Lich and Living Armor. The guide warns that if player characters advance too far into the map early on, Egbert will appear and abscond with the Dark Sword, making victory impossible except by defeating all enemies. The altar area is highlighted as important. The next page details the next 2 key scenarios in Langrisser 2. Scenario 13, titled The Decisive Battle with the Flame Dragon Corps, sees Elwyn and the party returning to Calzarth Castle in pursuit of Lyanna, who was kidnapped by Egbert. Their path is blocked by Zoltan and General Vargas, leading the Flame Dragon Corps. The objective is to defeat Vargas. He doesn't appear initially, but shows up when the party reaches the north part of the map. This scenario is notable for introducing ballista units with their long range, and it's the final confrontation with the formidable General Vargas. Scenario 14, The Holy Sword Langrisser, takes place at the legendary Baldia Castle, now risen from a lake after its seal is broken. The party seeks the ultimate weapon, the Holy Sword Langrisser. But the Azure Knight Corps led by Leon is also there. The victory conditions are reaching Langrisser with Elwyn, Jessica, or Sherry, or defeating Leon.
Failure occurs if Leon reaches the sword first or if Elwyn falls. Players should split their forces, with a group focused on reaching the sword, ideally including characters capable of using the fly spell. Be cautious of the numerous ballista units present. This scenario features the first major clash against the rival leader, Leon. The next page details the next two scenarios in Langrisser 2. Scenario 15, titled General Imelda of the Ice Dragon Corps, sees Elwyn and his allies needing to cross a river to rescue Liana. Imelda blocks their path. The objective is to defeat Imelda, or have Elwyn reach the map's southern edge. Failure is Elwyn's death. Imelda is described as a magic-using general. Reinforcements, including the Dark Princess and Scott, appear depending on the party's movement. Tactical advice suggests using flying or aquatic units to cross the river quickly. Scenario 16, Rylgrad Imperial Capital, takes place as the party finally reaches the capital. They are met by their rival, Leon, at the castle gate. The victory conditions are defeating Leon or having Elwyn reach the castle gate. Failure is Elwyn's death.
Leon is the leader of the Azure Knights, and Para is recommended as effective against him.
Additional enemy troops and the Dark Princess Larna appear as reinforcements.
Larna is noted to potentially have some connection to Leon. The screenshots show the river map for Scenario 15 and the castle map and dialogue scenes for Scenario 16. This page details the next two scenarios in Langrisser 2. Scenario 17, titled The Emperor and the Dark Prince, takes place after defeating Leon and entering the castle. Elwyn confronts Emperor Bernhardt and the Dark Prince, Bozel. The objective is to defeat Emperor Bernhardt. Failure is Elwyn's death. Tactical advice suggests dealing with the powerful archmages on the map's lower sides first. Reinforcements consisting entirely of cavalry units appear from the bottom entrance on turn 5. Bozel is noted as being weak against cavalry. Screenshots show the castle throne room map, dialogue, and a combat scene between Bernhardt and Elwyn. Scenario 18, Dark Princess, occurs while pursuing Bozel towards Velzeria. Elwyn discovers a village under attack by monsters, controlled by none other than a corrupted Liana.
Elwyn must stop her.
Victory conditions are defeating both the Great Dragon and the Dark Princess.
Failure is Elwyn's death, or the death of all villagers. Priority is given to securing the villagers by defeating nearby enemies first. The Great Dragon becomes active on turn 5, and the Dark Princess only moves after enemies other than dragon troops are defeated. The Great Dragon is strong but vulnerable to meteor magic. Screenshots show the village map, dialogue, and combat against the Great Dragon. This page details the next two stages in Langrisser 2. Scenario 19. At the port of Mirail, sees Elwyn attempting to capture an Imperial ship to reach Velzeria. The enemy commander is General Imelda, supported by a variety of units including powerful mages and dragon knights, with reinforcements arriving later. To secure victory within the 23-turn limit, players are advised to counter enemy ballistae and mages with ranged attacks early on, and prepare for reinforcements appearing from the northwest by positioning units strategically in narrow areas. Defeating Imelda requires strong melee units. The page includes screenshots of the port map, character portraits, and battle dialogue. Following the capture of the ship, Scenario 20, the sea-stained red begins as Elwyn sails towards Velzeria to rescue Liana. Their path is blocked by an enemy ship controlled by Bozel's magic, carrying the demon lord Fayez and his monster forces. This scenario is a ship-to-ship battle, where the objective is to annihilate all enemies. Phakeus, noted as the killer of Dren, is immune to magic and must be defeated through direct physical attacks. The enemy roster includes monsters like Scylla, ghouls, and Lich, alongside golems which are particularly dangerous to cavalry. Reinforcements, including a kraken and wyvern, arrive later, and tactical advice suggests luring the kraken onto the ship for combat. Screenshots show the unique two-ship map layout and dialogue exchanges between the characters, including Fayez. This page shifts focus from specific scenarios in Langrisser 2 to core game mechanics,
offering vital reference data for players. It features comprehensive lists of both player character commander units and ally mercenaries, detailing their crucial stats like attack, defense, movement, command range, and magic points. These tables serve as an essential guide for understanding unit strengths and weaknesses, as well as the costs and types of mercenaries available for recruitment, including infantry, cavalry, archers, flyers, and even specialized units like monks and water units. Though the stat lists, the page provides a detailed class change guide for the main characters, including Elwyn, Rihanna, Cherie, Hein, Scott, Keith, Aaron, Lester, and Jessica. It visually maps out the potential progression paths for each character, showing how they can advance through different classes from their initial roles. The text explains that abilities and mercenary types learned in previous classes carry over after a change, providing strategic flexibility. It also hints at the existence of hidden classes beyond those shown, encouraging players to explore and uncover them. This section is crucial for players planning their character development throughout the game. This page serves as a vital reference guide for Langrisser 2 players, detailing crucial in-game systems. It features a comprehensive list of magic spells, breaking them down into attack, recovery, and support types, complete with details on their range, target, and effects. Following this are extensive lists of items, covering weapons, armor, and other equipment, showing their prices, stats, and which character classes can use them. This section is essential for planning character loadouts. The page also delves into summoned beasts, listing specific summons with their stats, and explaining the hidden summoner class and how to call powerful monsters into battle. A side feature highlights a promotional quiz contest featuring Cherie and Rihanna, possibly related to discovering hidden classes, and showcases character cosplay. This page showcases the official soundtrack for the classic Sega Mega Drive game, Bare Knuckle 2 Eyes, known internationally as Streets of Rage 3. The page features a large vertical title for the game, alongside the horizontal title, confirming the focus. A prominent photograph shows the two composers, Yuzo Koshiro and Motohiro Kawashima, whose distinct electronic sound defined the series' music. The page lists the 18 tracks included on the album, highlighting that tracks 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 13, 15, and 17 were composed and arranged by Yuzo Koshiro, while tracks 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18 were handled by Motohiro Kawashima. Text below the track list describes the album as the original soundtrack for Sega's popular Mega Drive software, Bare Knuckle 2 I Tekken Seiden, and proudly declares it delivers the strongest hardcore techno groove from Koshiro and Kawashima, pushing the boundaries of game music. A small image displays artwork or a screenshot related to the game. Release details are provided, showing the album went on sale August 24th, priced at 2,500 yen. This is a must-have for fans of the game's groundbreaking electronic music. This page features Konami's Room, a regular column giving readers insight into Konami's activities. Entry number 21 touches on the intense phase of game development, specifically bug fixing for upcoming action titles. The column then details the extensive preparations for nationwide events planned for the autumn, highlighting the Twin Bee Paradise event scheduled for October 10th in Tokyo, and introduces Konami's event producer, Mr. Ikeda, involved in organizing these events and booth planning for the AM show. The postcards from users section shares direct feedback from readers, discussing various Konami titles, including questions about ports like Castlevania, Rondo of Blood, and mentions of Twin Bee. Fan art, sent in by readers, is also featured. A dedicated section, Oh Picno, showcases winning artwork from the Sparkster Lookalike Drawing Contest, displaying creative interpretations of the Rocket Knight Adventures hero submitted by readers from different regions. Finally, the page announces a new ongoing feature beginning next month, Cheer Akahori's Game Yaru, promising fresh content for Konami fans. This page features Eccentric Game Paradise Baka OU, starting with a column discussing using high-tech accessories like a special stainless steel ball for a mouse to improve performance. A section titled Space Maniacs delves into bizarre space-related theories, including alleged alien encounters. Professor Anpiso's high-class gamer training course offers commentary, likely from a fictional character. The main content includes an exploration of hidden techniques and exploits, teasing a showdown between a dark game and a hedgehog, complete with screenshots. Game impressions cover Sonic Spinball, noting the gameplay and levels, and Taito's unique action title, Mao Renjishi. A personal recommendation highlights a Mega Drive game focusing on its presentation and design balance. The page also includes a serialized story excerpt called Soulbook and a humorous Baka OU Pose of the Month photo feature. Finally, the editor's postscript shares brief thoughts on various games and industry aspects like production costs. This page features the Sega Stadium Reader section, Volume 9, presenting fan postcards and feedback. Readers discuss their anticipation for Echo, The Tides of Time, and Toe Jam and Earl in Panic on Funkotron, with one fan humorously describing experiencing motion sickness playing the original Echo the Dolphin. There's even a plea to bring these sequels to the Sega 32X, with polygon graphics for enhanced immersion. The MD Masterpiece Theater section highlights Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, a Mega Drive adventure game based on the anime. A reviewer praises its ability to draw players into the world and its high quality, noting its blend of visual novel elements and field exploration gameplay is engaging even without prior knowledge of the source material. A reader's contribution to the Masterpiece Theater champions Wonder Boy and Monster World, referred to using a potentially confused title but the date matches its release, calling it a Mega Drive masterpiece with balanced action and speed, suitable for all players. Alongside game discussions, the page includes a Rakugaki section with reader doodles featuring characters like Echo and others from Sega titles, touching on previews of Sega Saturn and 32X games shown at the time. An illustration section showcases reader art, including characters from the Sega CD title Mansion of Hidden Souls. The page concludes with a note on the enjoyment of a specific song, Sayonara Game. This page features columns from 2 contributors and various reader participation sections. Voice actress Megumi Hayashibara's column, MegaDrive, covers recent events in her life, including the success of her album and a trip to Hokkaido. She also shares a humorous experience playing Daytona, USA, where she was bested by a young competitor. Another column discusses the summer heat and highlights upcoming content for the magazine's phone service and video magazine, including information on Shining Force CD and a Mega World upgrade campaign. It also previews games featured in the video magazine, such as the Sega Saturn title Clockwork Knight, alongside various Mega Drive, Sega CD, and Game Gear games. The Sodan Project X section announces a reader contest inviting submissions of caricatures, accompanied by a screenshot of a platformer game, presumably for thematic inspiration. The page also includes a general call for reader contributions via postcard, soliciting questions, ideas, and art for various magazine sections, and provides the mailing address for sending submissions to the Sega Stadium Reader Corner. This page features Eric C. Sedensky's column, Hooked Game Experience, discussing the impending next-generation console panic in Japan, with Sega, NEC, and Nintendo preparing new systems, alongside new entrants, Sony and Sanyo. The future of the market is becoming increasingly complex. Drawing comparisons to the American market, where the 3DO and Atari Jaguar have already launched, Eric highlights the crucial role of software. Despite initial hype, the 3DO's sales have been slow due to a lack of compelling games beyond those from the hardware manufacturer. Success hinges on killer apps like Virtua Fighter for Saturn, Mario titles for Nintendo, Ridge Racer for PlayStation, and FX Fighter for PCFX. Eric emphasizes that consumers buy hardware for specific software. A strong, desirable game can drive console sales. He notes the challenge for consumers facing numerous platforms and the rapid obsolescence caused by version upgrades across systems. Ultimately, satisfying the user by focusing on quality software is key for both manufacturers and players in this crowded market. The accompanying cartoon illustrations depict the confusion of too many game choices. This page features Jam Ojisan's column, titled Experience is Better Than Youth, discussing the current state of the Japanese game industry amidst the next-generation console wars. The column highlights the significant impact of the strong Japanese yen on companies, reducing profits from overseas sales and affecting the domestic market. It notes that companies like Sega and Nintendo are particularly affected, with even a small change in the yen impacting their earnings significantly. The article then delves into the crowded next-generation console space, mentioning Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and 3DO. It observes that while many manufacturers have expressed interest in entering the market, few third parties have the resources to develop for all platforms. Companies like Sega and Sony are adopting aggressive strategies, including price cuts and exclusive software deals. The importance of killer software is stressed, with titles like Virtua Fighter Daytona USA, and Ridge Racer mentioned as critical drivers for console sales. The piece suggests the market is in flux, and the outcome will depend on release timing, hardware pricing and performance, and the strength of major titles. The page also includes a section calling for questions from readers for Jam Ojisan to answer in future columns, covering various topics related to games and the industry. Photos of Konami and PlayStation consoles and people are also featured. This page is a full-page advertisement for the Dyna system, a height increase program from the Nihon Health Academy, featuring testimonials and details about the system. This page kicks off a new series diving into the evolution of game technology, with the first installment focusing on the incredible speed of RISC CPUs. The article highlights the common thread among the upcoming generation of consoles like the Sega Saturn, 3DO, and PlayStation: the adoption of 32-bit RISC CPUs. According to the author, this move represents a massive leap, boosting processing power by 10 times or more compared to previous systems, such as the Mega Drive with its 68,000 CPU. The key takeaway is that this performance jump isn't solely due to increased clock speeds, but rather fundamental architectural differences like pipeline processing, wider bus widths, and cache memory. The article emphasizes that these RISC processors make complex calculations, particularly those required for 3D graphics like rotation and translation, dramatically easier and faster than ever before. The reviewer notes that the era where game developers had to employ clever tricks to work around slow CPUs is coming to an end. The new RISC processors are simply lightning fast. This page lays out the upcoming software release schedule across Sega's stable of platforms: the Mega Drive, Mega CD, Super 32X, and Mega LD. The Mega Drive calendar features a strong lineup with major titles like the highly anticipated Sonic and Knuckles, the arcade fighter Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel Echo, the Tides of Time, and tactical RPG Langrisser 2. Also notable are Mega Man, the Wily Wars, the promising platformer Ristar, and the fast-paced action game Alien Soldier, though many games are still marked with undecided release dates or as temporary working titles, reflecting the dynamic nature of game development schedules. For the Mega CD, the list includes RPGs such as Lunar, Eternal Blue, and YSIV, The Dawn of YS, alongside ports like Lethal Enforcers 2 and FMV experiences. The Super 32X schedule is still in its nascent stages, with many entries like Doom, Star Wars, and Tempo listed solely as temporary titles, showing the add-on's upcoming library is still solidifying. Finally, the Mega LD section details a diverse range of releases, highlighting the unique nature of that niche format, with titles spanning video collections to adventure games. This page presents an overview of Sega's software plans, focusing on the Game Gear schedule and broader updates across other platforms, accompanied by messages directly from various game developers. The Game Gear release table highlights several upcoming titles including Popoy's Beach Volleyball, Mortal Kombat 2, Kenshiro Densetsu Yaiba, and Sonic Chaos, listing their release dates, prices, genres, and whether they support multiplayer link cable play. A section dedicated to the new soft schedule provides updates beyond the Game Gear list, discussing the state of Mega Drive and Mega CD releases, noting upcoming games like Starblade and cancellations on the Mega CD side. It also touches upon the developing library for the 32X and hints at future arcade game ports. Adding a personal touch, the Softmaker information section features brief, informal updates from over a dozen different developers, including Sega, Technos, Japan, Capcom, Konami, and others. These blurbs give small insights into their current work, often mixing development news with casual comments, providing a glimpse into the industry buzz at the time. This page presents a reader questionnaire, titled, How to Fill Out the Questionnaire Postcard, providing instructions for readers to give feedback to the magazine. It outlines the marking method using black pen or pencil to fill in circles next to the chosen options, with a special method shown for age and the number of games owned. The questionnaire covers reader demographics, asking about gender, age, and occupation. It then delves into reading habits, asking which computer game magazines they read, and which articles from the magazine's September issue they found interesting or uninteresting, referencing a list of article titles. The survey also seeks information on readers' gaming hardware ownership and their desired future purchases, asking which systems they own, referencing a list including systems like Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, Super Famicom, PlayStation, etc., and which Mega Drive and Sega Saturn games from provided lists they are interested in buying. Finally, there's a free comment section for general feedback. A separate section lists the winners of the July issue's Reader Present giveaway, detailing the prizes and the names of the winners for each category. This page is dedicated to Sega AM2 Presents AMR&D Department Number 2 Express Volume 5, showcasing the latest developments for highly anticipated Sega Saturn titles. It reveals new screenshots for two major games, Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA. The coverage on Virtua Fighter highlights significant progress on the Sega Saturn port. New screenshots show the health gauge has been implemented, and the visuals are looking much closer to the arcade version. Character models, such as Lao Chan, appear improved. The page emphasizes that character movements are being faithfully replicated from the arcade, using a series of screenshots of Wolf Hockfield to demonstrate the accuracy of his kicks. The text notes, the increased polygon count and detailed modeling make it difficult to distinguish from the arcade original, and draws attention to the previously unseen Lao stage. For Daytona USA, the page confirms that backgrounds and courses are now implemented in the Sega Saturn version, indicating solid progress on the port. While the current screenshots are noted as early, the text expresses confidence that the visuals will continue to improve rapidly. The feature also mentions that Virtua Cop, another title in the popular Virtua series, is being introduced, highlighting the exciting lineup from AM2 Lab. The content suggests that AM2 is working hard to deliver top-tier ports that will impress gamers. This page continues the focus on the Sega Saturn port of Virtua Fighter, offering a deeper dive into the graphical evolution and technical accuracy. It directly compares character models from an early Toy Show version to the latest version, showcasing a significant improvement in detail, especially in the faces and overall body lines of characters like Lao Chan, Sarah Bryant, Jeffrey McWild, and Wolf Hockfield. The polygon count has clearly increased, making the models much more refined. The article emphasizes that visual improvements are ongoing, with polygon counts set to increase substantially. Progress is being made not just on character models, but also on implementing all character stages and porting around 700 basic techniques from the arcade. Collision detection is also confirmed to be integrated, bringing the game closer to a playable state. Beyond visuals, the page highlights the faithful replication of arcade moves. It presents step-by-step screenshots of Lao Chan performing his iconic Senpuga, and Jeffrey McWild executing the Splash Mountain Throw, demonstrating the developer's commitment to replicating the precise motion and impact of the arcade game's techniques. This level of detail in replicating moves is presented as a key feature of the Saturn port, suggesting a high level of technical fidelity is being achieved. Original elements unique to the Saturn version are also mentioned as being announced soon, adding to the anticipation. This page highlights the progress of the Sega Saturn port of Daytona USA. The main section showcases screenshots of the beginner course, known internationally as the International Speedway, demonstrating that backgrounds and track details, including the pit lane, are now being implemented. The developers are working on getting multiple cars running on the track to capture the arcade atmosphere. The article compares the Saturn version's current state to the arcade original, illustrating how the port is shaping up visually. There is also a section featuring reader feedback, which covers various suggestions and questions. Topics include ideas for Virtua Fighter on Saturn, such as adding character color customization, a turbo mode, original practice modes, and whether it will support the Super 32X, which is confirmed not to be the case, as Virtua Fighter is a Saturn-exclusive release with no compatibility plans. Readers also suggest ideas for other games or features, and the AM2 Lab staff provides brief responses, often indicating that suggestions are under consideration. This page provides an early look at the Sega Saturn port of Daytona USA, alongside reader feedback on Saturn titles like Virtua Fighter. This page features an emergency special report on AM2 Lab's third entry in the Virtua series, the arcade game Virtua Cop. Following Virtua Racing and Virtua Fighter, this new title is a gun-shooting game running on Sega's powerful Model 2 board, showcasing realistic environments with textured polygons and immersive depth. The article praises Virtua Cop as an innovative game that changes the concept of the gun genre, highlighting its fast-paced action and the satisfying feeling of taking down enemies. Screenshots display intense gameplay moments, showing off the detailed character models, environmental effects like broken glass, and use in elements like the health gauge. The page also includes a fascinating look back at AM2's polygon character history, starting with Virtua Racing in 1992, where polygon characters were introduced. It then moves to Virtua Fighter in 1993, where polygon characters became the main focus, achieving smooth motion. Virtua Cop in summer 1994 further evolves this technology, featuring texture-mapped characters with detailed movements. The timeline concludes by teasing Virtua Fighter 2 for the end of 1994, hinting at continued advancements in polygon graphics. The article suggests that while screenshots look good, experiencing the game in the arcade is the best way to appreciate its full appeal.
This page delves deeper into AM2's new arcade hit, Virtua Cop, focusing on its core mechanics and featuring an interview with the development team. The top section highlights the revolutionary lock-on sight system, explaining how it clearly indicates when you can hit an enemy and when you are in danger, allowing for more precise and strategic gameplay compared to traditional light gun games. Screenshots visually demonstrate this system, showing the transition from spotting a target to the moment of being hit. The main part of the page is a special interview with AM2 director Yuji Suzuki and development chief Katsunori Itai. They discussed the appeal of Virtua Cop, why they chose the gun shooting genre for the third Virtua title, and the key differences that set it apart. They mentioned the decision to use the powerful Model 2 board, citing it as Sega's future standard for high-end CG games. A significant challenge discussed is the difficulty of enemy placement to avoid monotony and keep the experience fresh. They described the game's pacing and increasing tension as similar to the progression in Tetris, aiming for a simple yet exhilarating experience. The interview emphasizes the thrill derived from quickly defeating enemies and the satisfying feeling of skill improvement. The developers featured are Katsunori Itai, the development chief, and Yuji Suzuki, the AM2 director. This page kicks off with the announcement of AM2's latest arcade masterpiece, Desert Tank, running on the powerful Model 2 board. This isn't just any tank game. It boasts incredibly realistic visuals and sound effects, immersing players in intense tank battles. The game features multiple stages and camera viewpoints, promising a deep simulation experience that needs to be played to be believed. Moving on, the page reports on the wildly successful Polygon Junkie event held in Kawasaki. This was a massive gathering for fans of Sega's cutting-edge polygon games, featuring titles like Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA. The photo shows a packed venue, underscoring the huge turnout and enthusiasm for these pioneering 3D arcade experiences. Finally, the AM2 Research Express Art Gallery section showcases fan-submitted artwork. Readers from across Japan sent in their illustrations, many featuring beloved characters from games like Virtua Fighter. The page encourages more submissions via postcard, offering a special Virtua Fighter staff blouson as a prize for selected entries. This page dives deep into the upcoming world of Sega's next-generation consoles, the Sega Saturn and the Super 32X. With both systems aiming for a November release, this spread showcases the very latest game visuals and crucial information as the race for the next-gen heats up, acknowledging the moves by Nintendo and Sony already. The page features prominent images of the sleek Sega Saturn and the powerful Super 32X add-on stacked on a Mega Drive 2, alongside their controllers. The focus, however, is on the software. We're treated to a selection of brand new screenshots from games in development. These include previews of a tactical football sim, a high-speed Fry 1-style racing game, an intense space dogfight that looks straight out of Star Wars, a first-person perspective game resembling Doom, and scenes from a fighting game likely from the Virtua Fighter series. Other glimpses show an underwater environment, a golf game, a mech combat title, and a fantasy RPG-like scene. This is an exciting look at the initial software lineup for Sega's powerful new hardware. This page continues the look at the Sega Saturn's launch lineup, promising a showcase of the latest screens and information for 10 upcoming titles. Following up on the previous page's overview, the focus here is squarely on Clockwork Knight, presented as a full CG action game and a confirmed launch title for the Saturn. The magazine highlights the game's vibrant, doll-like heroine, Chelsea, who is described as an ornamental clock doll and an idol among the toys in a child's room. Multiple screenshots showcase the game's detailed, layered 3D environments, enemies, and traps. The commentary emphasizes that while it's a familiar side-scrolling action game, the use of 3D calculation adds depth and variety to the visuals and gameplay, noting the detailed character movements and diverse enemy types. It's praised for nailing the action game fundamentals while adding new layers of fun and presentation through its unique 3D style. This page continues showcasing upcoming Sega Saturn titles, diving deeper into the story of Clockwork Knight. It outlines the premise where the main character, Pepperass, a wind-up toy, embarks on a journey to find Chelsea, the toy idol of the room, who goes missing after a power outage.
Sequential images illustrate scenes from the game's narrative progression. Moving on, there's a look at Rampo, a game based on the movie of the same name. This title is presented as a unique blend of live-action footage, featuring actors from the film, and CG visuals, creating a new type of adventure game. It uses an emotion input system for player interaction and incorporates elements from Edogawa Rampo's stories into its sub-scenarios. Finally, the page highlights Shinwa Yumemi Akata, True Story of the Dream Palace, for the Sega Saturn, a successor to the popular Mega CD title. It promises a significant visual upgrade, utilizing the Saturn's graphical capabilities, like 16 million colors and texture mapping. The gameplay evolves from the previous linear path, with a new emotion branching system that allows player choices to alter the story, offering multiple scenarios. This new entry is expected to deliver a more immersive experience, with enhanced graphics and sound. This page dives into more upcoming Sega Saturn heavy hitters. First up is the legendary Panzer Dragoon, showcasing the Saturn's 3D power with full polygon characters and environments brought to life through clever texture mapping, creating a truly unique world. It's highlighted as a complete 3D shooter where you can attack enemies from any angle, utilizing the adjustable viewpoint. The visuals, especially the graceful flight of the dragon and rider, are a major draw. Next we see Daedalus, described as a high-quality, 3D CG sci-fi shooter. The incredibly detailed modeling of the characters and the mysterious space fortress setting are impressive. The game leverages the Saturn's sound capabilities for powerful audio. Screenshots reveal the fortress, labeled Daedalus, and interface elements like maps. Finally, there's Gale Racer, an evolution of the arcade hit Rad Mobile. The Saturn version adds exciting two-player competitive play. The CG animated sequences and realistic visuals, like the scene featuring what looks like the Golden Gate Bridge, are noted for their production value. This page continues showcasing the Sega Saturn's diverse lineup. First up is Blue Seed, a character RPG based on the popular comic by Yuzo Takada, the creator of the legendary 3x3 Eyes. This title uses a unique card battle system and incorporates full, dynamic animation sequences produced by the same team behind the TV anime, promising a faithful adaptation with engaging combat. Next we have Magic Knight Ray Earth, bringing the beloved manga and anime by Clamp to the Saturn as a new dimension RPG. The game utilizes impressive visual effects like scaling and transformation, and features a triangle character change system, allowing players to swap between the three main heroines, Hikaru, Umi, and Fu, as they adventure through the fantasy world of Sephiroth. Finally, Chinese Detective is highlighted as an adventure game, where the strength of its scenario, penned by the renowned James Miyoki, is the main draw. The game blends real-life footage shot on location in Hong Kong, with high-quality CG visuals to create a unique, immersive experience, putting players in the shoes of the protagonist as they explore environments and interact with objects like examining a piano or a locked door. This page kicks off with Victory Goal, a major 3D soccer title for the Sega Saturn. This game utilizes the console's polygon capabilities to deliver realistic graphics and offers unprecedented camera freedom, allowing players to view the action from various angles, including zooming in to get a player's perspective, a significant departure from previous soccer games. It's positioned as the evolution of Sega's acclaimed Pro Striker series and part of a strong sports lineup alongside the baseball game Greatest 9, both leveraging the Saturn's 3D power. The page also delves into user expectations for the Sega Saturn's software library. A survey shows that readers are most eager for the latest arcade game ports, followed closely by original RPGs and adventure games, and then sequels and remakes of popular Mega Drive titles like Virtua Fighter. Finally, we get brief previews of a couple more anticipated titles. Riglord Saga is presented as an original RPG that will showcase the Saturn's CG capabilities with 3D characters and environments, promising an evolving story. We also see a glimpse of Shinobi X, an evolution of the classic Ninja series, expected to feature unique visuals like real-life captured characters. This page dives into the expanding lineup for the Super 32X, kicking off with the announcement of two new titles: the iconic first-person shooter Doom, and a game referred to as Shadow of the Atlantis. But the main focus is clearly on Virtua Racing Deluxe, highlighted as the most popular upcoming 32X title. The article shows the game is progressing well, even at a reported 30% completion, and interestingly notes it's being developed by CS4R&D, not the original AM2 team behind the Mega Drive version. Virtua Racing Deluxe promises significant upgrades over the Mega Drive version, including a higher polygon count, smoother graphics, and a vastly expanded color palette displaying 256 colors simultaneously from a pool of 32,768. Crucially, it will include not just the 3 original arcade courses, but 3 new courses as well. Players will also be able to select from different car types, Formula, Stock, and Prototype, and choose between automatic and manual transmissions, features planned but not implemented in the Mega Drive version. The article also confirms the popular multi-viewpoint system from the arcade is intact, showing screenshots from 4 different perspectives, ranging from driver's eye to a more distant helicopter view, and praises the increased graphical detail visible in these views. This looks like a substantial step up for Virtua Racing. This page continues the deep dive into the Sega Super 32X lineup, revealing even more exciting titles. First up is the stunning Craydrum-based adventure game, Shadow of the Atlantis, which boasts incredible visuals for the platform and combines adventure elements with action. Next, the legendary first-person shooter Doom is confirmed for the 32X. Known for its intense, fast-paced action in 3D environments, it promises the same exhilarating gunplay that made the PC version famous, despite potential motion sickness issues for some players. Joining the lineup is Star Wars Arcade, bringing the thrill of arcade space combat straight to the 32X. Screenshots show a faithful cockpit view, and the game will feature multiple missions and the ability to switch viewpoints, capturing the excitement of the arcade original. The page also discusses the growing anticipation for the 32X, fueled by a positive reception overseas. Expectations are high for third-party support, with announcements expected soon, promising a strong expansion of the system's library with international titles. Other games previewed include the robot action title Metalhead and the realistic golf simulation 36 Great Holes starring Fred Couples, showcasing the variety coming to the platform. There's even a mention of a tentative Virtua Fighter game in development. This page kicks off a new section called the Mega Hot Menu, highlighting exciting upcoming titles. The main feature is Sparkster, Rocket Knight Adventures 2, the highly anticipated sequel from Konami. The preview confirms the game takes place 5 years after the original, with a slightly older Sparkster. Key gameplay improvements are noted, particularly the rocket attack mechanism, which now features automatic charging for smoother action. The game promises unique enemies and environments, and screenshots showcase the vibrant platforming action and boss encounters. The story involves the return of the princess being kidnapped and Sparkster being targeted. The game is listed with a 90% completion rate and a September 15th release date. The page also previews other titles to be covered in this section, including Mega Man, The Wily Wars, Samurai Showdown, and Echo, The Tides of Time. This page continues the Mega Hot Menu feature, diving deeper into Sparkster. Building on the previous issue's introduction, it revisits Stage 1 and Stage 2, highlighting updates as the game nears completion. Stage 1 is described as having a similar atmosphere to the original game's opening, featuring plains and forests, with a focus on the locomotive boss. Stage 2 takes Sparkster to a desert and pyramid area, packed with numerous enemies and challenging obstacles, including a lava boss and a confusing labyrinth section. The preview then reveals details about later stages, including the exciting Stage 3, which features a giant warship reminiscent of the first game. Here, saving Princess Cherry initially seems successful, but it turns out to be a fake, a nod to the previous title. Stages 4 and 5 promise intense boss battles, including robot confrontations and an assault on an enemy fortress, showcasing varied boss designs. A welcome new feature is highlighted in a secret column, a password save system. This is presented as a great addition for players who found the lack of mid-game saves in the original Rocket Knight adventures frustrating. The page is filled with vibrant screenshots illustrating the diverse environments, boss encounters, and gameplay moments across these early to mid-game stages. This page continues the Mega Hot Menu preview of Sparkster. Stage 4 brings back the popular giant robot battle, now enhanced with both side-scrolling sections where you clear out smaller enemies and a challenging one-on-one versus mode featuring unique, chargeable attacks. The reviewer notes that the robot controls are distinct and require practice. Stage 5 features the assault on Jedul's heavily guarded fortress. To enter, you must destroy surrounding turrets, and navigating the interior requires finding switches to open locked doors, highlighting the level's puzzle elements and numerous traps. Later in Stage 5, a formidable giant robot boss appears, stressing the importance of mastering rocket attacks against the strong defenses. 2 secret columns provide additional details. One hints at the mystery of the legendary armor and a crucial key found early in the game. The other introduces some of the game's items, like the blue and red gems that fuel an item roulette, the rocket pack for immediate full rocket power, and the power-up capsule that grants a powerful flaming sword attack. Warning that not all items are beneficial. A developer comment urges players not to skip the opening robot battle, which features unique content, and notes differences between the Genesis and Super Famicom versions. The page is packed with screenshots showing the robot battles, fortress environments, and item visuals. This page showcases Contra Hardcore, the latest entry in the intense action series arriving on the Genesis. The preview highlights significant upgrades in presentation and graphics. The article details the game's 4 playable characters: Ray-powered, Sheena Etranzi, Brad Fang, and Brownie, noting their distinct weapon power-ups and shooting heights. A key feature discussed is the series' first branching stage paths, leading to different developments and endings. The preview covers gameplay up to Stage 6, including the initial branching point. It also touches on the character visuals, suggesting improved facial details. Gameplay mechanics are explained, focusing on 2 distinct shooting modes: Shot 1 for mobile firing, and Shot 2 for stationary, focused attacks, switchable via the weapon select button. A new sliding maneuver is introduced as a crucial action, providing invincibility and attack capability, useful against charging enemies, though leaving the player temporarily immobile afterward. A story summary is provided, set 5 years after the Alien War, detailing the emergence of new crimes and the formation of the Special Contra team. The page also features character artwork, screenshots of gameplay demonstrating the 2 shot types, and sliding, and an image of the briefing screen with the team's commander. This page continues the detailed preview of Contra Hardcore for the Genesis, showcasing the action through the initial stages of the game. It covers the first 4 stages, giving players a glimpse of the diverse environments and formidable enemies they will face. Stage 1, the city, throws players into a battle against a robot uprising, focusing on urban warfare against unmanned weapons. The highlight is the fight against Maximum Jumbo, a massive robotic boss with challenging laser attacks. Stage 2 shifts to a high-speed highway chase, pursuing the mysterious Dead Eyes Joe. This stage features intense vehicle combat and introduces the transforming highway spider boss in a dynamic 3D tunnel section, followed by an encounter with Joe himself piloting a smaller mech. Stage 3 is titled Dogfight and deviates to a bioresearch lab under attack, emphasizing aerial combat. Players engage various flying enemies and face off against a powerful flying human-type boss, likely related to the Thunderbird unit. The stage culminates inside the lab with a large, experimental boss guarding the doctor. Finally, Stage 4 takes the action to a junkyard, where the goal is to apprehend the hacker, Neumann Cascade. This stage features enemies emerging from the environment, and a tough fight against Dustman, a boss formed from collected scrap. The stage also includes a transition into a surreal virtual zone, with unique enemies and transforming structures. The preview effectively demonstrates the game's varied level design and boss encounters. This page continues the deep dive into Contra Hardcore. Moving into the later stages of the games, Stage 5 takes the fight into the jungle, where the team is hunting for the true mastermind, Colonel Bahamut, exposed by Neumann Cascade. This stage features diverse challenges, including a memorable fight atop a charging dinosaur, and encounters with strange biological enemies like the evil snowman, mid-boss, and a red creature boss that holds itself up with limbs. The article reveals that completing Stage 5 determines the outcome of the Stage 1 choice, teasing the potential return of Dead-Eye Joe. Stage 6 is revealed as a trap within Bahamut's supposed base. The hero is presented with a critical choice upon arrival. Regardless of the initial confusion, the base is filled with Bahamut, a large force of his soldiers, and the sinister Drive Mandrake. The bosses in this stage are described as Dr. Mandrake's biomonsters, which have the ability to combine into different forms, presenting a significant threat. Finally, a developer comment highlights the game's intense difficulty, jokingly calling it life-shaving, and confirms that Contra Hardcore features a substantial 6 different endings, with variations depending on the character chosen and whether you play solo or in 2-player mode, encouraging players to explore all paths. This page is dedicated to the upcoming release of Panorama Cotton on the Sega Mega Drive. The magazine highlights its high completion rate at 100%, and promises a luxurious package including a special appendix. It's praised as a high-quality shooting game arriving after a long time, with meticulous attention paid to balance, graphics, sound, and voice acting. The article shows various screenshots, including gameplay and cutscenes featuring Cotton and other characters. It mentions the story progresses from stages 3 and 4 and details the game's impressive opening demo, noted for its numerous cuts and detailed graphics. A significant point is the excellent sound quality on the Mega Drive, allowing players to hear the distinctive Ikuban voice samples, boasting 21 different types. The page also heavily promotes a special bonus, a limited edition Panorama Cotton Unomi T-Mug, given to all purchasers of the first production run, noting it's a rare item and encouraging purchase on release day as it's the only chance to obtain it, excluding a 390 yen shipping cost. The feature includes images of the Unomi and the original illustration used. This page delves deeper into the gameplay of Panorama Cotton, focusing on Stage 3 and its dynamic features. Stage 3 is highlighted for its multiple branching paths, similar to Stage 1, leading to varied and increasingly intense gameplay. The reviewer emphasizes selecting different routes to discover hidden elements, and notes the stunning panorama outside, particularly on the right-hand path, is a must-see. The page also details the bosses encountered. The co-boss Araban's appearance can depend on the chosen route. Araban features a unique rock-paper-scissors mechanic during his fight. Matching the color of certain panels throughout stages reveals hidden warp points or secret paths, a mechanic that adds replayability. Another area featured is the complex Grand Corridor, described as difficult due to its structure and bullet patterns, requiring careful dodging. The main boss is Sardine, a large mechanical foe. Screenshots show his transformation and the detailed interior structure, praised as the work of a true craftsman. Sardine attacks by throwing cards, which must be used to damage him initially before his armor is broken. The page also touches upon the Aita Jizo, a character who appears in bonus scenes, adding another layer to the game's charm. The 3D-like perspective shifts and unexpected route changes are lauded as key attractions of Panorama Cotton. This page continues to showcase the stunning visuals of Panorama Cotton, highlighting Stage 4 as particularly impressive. The stage features a dramatic shift in environments, starting from the surface, moving into underwater caverns, and then transitioning to a hot lava area. The text emphasizes that these background changes are a highlight, and that clearing this stage leads to the final boss and ending, urging players to experience it for themselves. Screenshots illustrate these distinct areas, showing the descent into cold water, the intense lava zone with its floating rocks, and navigating through the underwater cavern, emphasizing the need to dodge obstacles and power up your shots. There's also a special bonus feature, a mini pinup illustration by developer Mr. Tamura commemorating the release, intended for readers to cut out and display. Finally, the page includes a message from developer Mr. Tamura, offering a summer greeting. He apologizes for the development delays and mentions the numerous trials and errors encountered, admitting there were times they almost gave up. He expresses deep gratitude to everyone involved in the development and to the users who supported the game, stating their encouragement was vital. Despite the considerable difficulties, he hopes Panorama Cotton will finally see the light of day. This page dives into the highly anticipated Mega Man, the Wily Wars, known as Rockman Mega World in Japan, for the Sega Mega Drive. This compilation brings together the first 3 legendary Mega Man titles, promising an experience that's far more than just 3 games in one. It's highlighted as essential for anyone who loves challenging action games, even noting the high difficulty is part of the balanced fun. The article emphasizes that simply reaching the boss is a significant part of the challenge and enjoyment in Mega Man. Success comes from learning enemy patterns, dealing with various dangerous foes, and overcoming the multitude of surprising traps scattered throughout the stages. Screenshots are featured prominently, showcasing the diverse and tricky environments, from the classic Mii tools hiding under their helmets to specific level hazards like rising fire columns and precarious jumps. These images give a taste of the action and strategic thinking required to navigate each stage and ultimately face drive Wily's robot masters. Capcom is bringing this compilation out in September, and judging by the coverage, it's shaping up to be a fantastic addition to the Mega Drive library. This Mega Man, the Wily Wars Guide, details the robot masters from Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, emphasizing strategic weapon acquisition. Mega Man 1 features Cutman, Fireman, and more, with Cutman's stage recommended for early play. Mega Man 2's bosses include Heatman, Quickman, and others, The guide suggests Metal Man or Airman for early Buster users. Mega Man 3's bosses, like Sparkman and Top Man, are explored, recommending starting with Snake Man's stage to acquire the Search Snake weapon for strategic advantage. The guide includes boss artwork and screenshots, welcoming both newcomers and veterans, and highlights the importance of boss order for success against Drive Wily's robots. This page showcases the Sega Mega Drive port of the classic fighting game, Samurai Showdown. It notes that while the long-awaited samurai have arrived, the character roster is a bit smaller than expected, with the game currently at 50% completion. The article dives into the game's unique and somewhat hardcore features, particularly highlighting the Rage Meter system, which was groundbreaking at the time and increased attack power when filled, allowing for powerful comeback opportunities. It also dwells on the game's controversial gore, emphasizing the ability to cut opponents in half, which was quite shocking, even when applied to female characters. Screenshots vividly display this mechanic, along with various character matchups like Charlotte vs. Amakusa and Haomaru vs. Kyoshiro. The text confirms this is a 1994 Sega/Saurus reprogrammed version of the 1993 SNK arcade original. This page provides a deeper look into aspects of Samurai Showdown on the Mega Drive. One section focuses on Nakoruru and her connection to the Ainu people, explaining their culture, their belief in kamui, spirits or deities, like bears and owls, and the Iomante ceremony for sending spirits back to the divine world. It notes that this game is unique in featuring the Ainu culture in a fighting game. Various animal images accompany this discussion, illustrating the wildlife important to the Ainu. Another major highlight is the ability to play as the boss character, Amakusa Shiro Tokisada, a feature praised by the reviewer. Screenshots showcase Amakusa in action, and the text details some of his signature cowardly strong special moves, including fast-lunging fireballs, varied projectiles, both fast and slow, and a rapid-fire multi-hit slap attack. The article expresses excitement about finally being able to unleash Amakusa's devilish techniques. A final note from Sega confirms the long-awaited port is happening, expressing joy and anticipation for the release date announcement, noting the positive sentiment around the confirmed port. This page explores Echo the Dolphin 2, released internationally as Echo, The Tides of Time. It covers Echo's new journey after saving his pod, returning to a seemingly peaceful sea before strange events unfold. The game features enhanced graphics, with more realistic depictions of Echo and marine life, and introduces impressive 3D stages where players navigate through rings. The article highlights key plot points, such as Echo using teleport rings and the sudden loss of his powers, forcing him to rely on his natural dolphin abilities. Screenshots illustrate the game's environments, including the 3D stages, and a checkpoint system involving collecting crystals. A significant encounter is teased with a mysterious creature resembling a dolphin, leading to a pivotal moment in the story that affects both Echo and the fate of the Earth. The article notes the game was released first in Japan. This page delves further into the world of Echo, The Tides of Time. It continues the narrative of Echo's journey to the future with Trisalia, highlighting the strange new environments encountered. The feature showcases levels that involve navigating vertical tubes high above the land, and explores the concept of Skylands, where the ocean exists in the air. Players learn about vital gameplay mechanics like using jumps to traverse gaps, and dodging threats such as the giant jellyfish boss featured prominently. The article also hints at Echo gaining incredible new abilities, including leveraging bubbles for jumps and even transforming into a bird, emphasizing the surreal and challenging nature of the future world Echo must explore. This page continues the exploration of Echo, The Tides of Time. It focuses on Echo's journey to the future, where he encounters Astolite again, learning about the two possible future timelines. One peaceful, one dominated by darkness, caused by Echo's past actions. This revelation prompts Echo to return to the past. The narrative shifts to the Sea of Darkness without Astolite, which is now under the terrifying control of the Vortex Queen. The article details the horrors of this era and showcases screenshots of the menacing Vortex Queen boss battle, highlighting her attack patterns. Amidst this danger, Echo receives aid from his dolphin companions and a crucial character, Orca, helping him navigate the unsettling waters ruled by the Queen. A section covers Checkpoint 5, showing dolphins guiding Echo, emphasizing the importance of allies. The page then introduces a boss encountered upon returning to the past, a deceptive giant seashell.
The true enemy is revealed to be hidden inside this shell. Screenshots show Echo battling this large, never-before-seen creature, with speculation that this foe might even be connected to parts of Astolite. Finally, a short developer comment praises the game's beautiful graphics, the charm of Echo and the dolphins, and highlights the return of the series, noting the inclusion of 3D stages and the ability to see Echo from behind. This page dives into the Sega CD game Star Wars: Rebel Assault. It's a 3D shooting game based on the Star Wars movie, and you play as Rookie One, a new rebel pilot. You'll battle the Empire through various scenarios. The game is described as slightly easier than a previous version and includes subtitles, making the dialogue clear. The article reviews the first 4 chapters and introduces the characters appearing up to Chapter 7. It notes that the game starts with basic flight training in an awing, but you'll soon get to fly the iconic X-Wing. There's a focus on improved controls, thanks to the cockpit view. Since it uses a password system, you can challenge the levels multiple times. Character profiles are included for key figures in the game. These feature Rookie One, the player character, Lieutenant Commander Merlin, a skilled pilot, R2-type droid who accompanies you in the X-Wing, Hack, stationed at the Anchorhead base, Harris, a nervous pilot, Lieutenant Commander Farrell, strict but possibly kind, Major Sims, a serious pilot who becomes your squadron leader, Darth Vader, and an Imperial officer who faces Vader's wrath for failure. The game is praised for its production quality, capturing the movie's atmosphere, and being an exciting game to play. This page serves as a training guide for Star Wars: Rebel Assault on Sega CD, focusing on mastering key gameplay mechanics. It highlights the 2 main viewpoints players will use: the back view, which shows your ship from behind and is ideal for navigating tight spaces like canyons and interacting with the environment, and the cockpit view, used primarily for targeting and combat in space, where you can steer by moving the aiming reticle. The guide also explains the 2 control styles: the flight type, which mimics traditional airplane controls, pulling back to go up, and the pad type, which offers direct directional movement. Players are encouraged to switch between these styles, depending on the scene and view for optimal control. Crucially, the page warns about the damage meter, explaining that collisions with terrain and enemy fire will cause damage, and it's important to avoid them. The first training chapter, Flight Training, is detailed, putting players in an awing for canyon navigation, noting a split path where the left is recommended. It emphasizes learning the ship's feel early on. This page continues the guide for Star Wars: Rebel Assault on Sega CD, detailing subsequent training and early combat missions. Following the initial canyon training from the previous page, Chapter 2 focuses on asteroid field training in a T-16 Skyhopper, emphasizing the need to destroy ice rocks while navigating and avoiding larger obstacles, noting the route is key despite initial difficulty. Chapter 3, Planet Colorador, escalates the canyon runs with tight, obstacle-filled paths that require precise flying. The guide highlights the challenge of dodging and making fine adjustments, referencing a moment after this training where an alert's sounds and power seems to double, hinting at the narrative progression. Finally, Chapter 4 dives into Star Destroyer Attack, the first real combat mission. The objective is to disable the Star Destroyer by attacking 2 radar sites on the bridge, first from the port side, then circling to starboard. This involves repeated attacks and dogfights against TIE fighters, which must be shot down to avoid taking damage. Specific attack phases are detailed, destroying the port turrets, then the radar, and finally the starboard turrets. The mission concludes with delivering the final blow using proton torpedoes and a tense return flight to the base on Tatooine, which is under attack. The guide captures the urgency and challenge of these varied missions. This page continues the guide for Star Wars: Rebel Assault, covering the later missions and a bonus stage. Chapter 5, Tatooine Attack, follows the Rebel base on Tatooine being attacked. You'll pursue 3 TIE fighters through canyons in an X-Wing. The guide notes, the X-Wing's handling differs from the previous T-16 Skyhopper, requiring careful maneuvering. The bonus stage is introduced as a high-score opportunity, urging players to destroy as many targets like Scoutwalkers as possible for maximum points. Chapter 6 shifts to the asteroid field chase. This mission involves navigating a dense asteroid field while dodging and destroying numerous rocks and enemy TIE fighters. Unlike earlier training, shooting enemies and obstacles is critical, not just avoiding them. The stage culminates in intentionally crashing into a large asteroid to finish. Finally, Chapter 7, Imperial Walkers, takes you to Hoth to battle Atants. The objective is to first deplete their shields with sustained fire, then target vulnerable areas like their legs to deal damage. The guide emphasizes that removing the shield takes multiple hits, and you must keep firing while avoiding their attacks. A final note mentions the snowspeeder crashes after this battle, leaving the next events as a cliffhanger. This page introduces the Mega CD game, Jurassic Park, highlighting its blend of adventure and action as a virtual cinema experience. This game features a virtual cinema style with strong adventure elements, requiring precise cursor control for investigation and quick reactions for action sequences against dinosaurs. Scheduled for a September release shortly after the October video release, this guide delves into the gameplay details. The core mechanic revolves around the cursor, which changes shape depending on the situation. It's typically a crosshair, but can become a hand for interaction or transform based on the equipped item, like a stun gun or card. Screenshots demonstrate various locations including the visitor center, jungle paths, a damaged vehicle scene, and a gate area, showing the game's detailed environments and the cursor interface. Key on-screen information includes remaining time, a compass, a health gauge, and an egg counter if carrying one. The game emphasizes using the directional pad to move the cursor and buttons for actions, item use, and bringing up the item window. The control layout can be customized in the options menu. This page continues the overview of the Mega Creedy's Jurassic Park, detailing the initial stages and key features. It starts by describing the opening scene where the player's helicopter crashes, immediately setting up the predicament of being stranded on the island. The primary objective revealed is to collect at least one egg from each of the 7 dinosaur species, a critical step for escape. The article emphasizes the need to quickly gather essential items near the crash site, like a stun gun, which is crucial for survival. It then guides the player through exploring the island, highlighting the importance of using the compass to navigate the dense jungle paths and various locations. Screenshots show the transition from the crash site to jungle environments and eventually arriving at the iconic Jurassic Park gate. The text notes the cinematic feel of movement sequences, making it feel like riding in a vehicle, though the player hasn't explicitly done so. A significant feature discussed is the presence of message booths, or data points, scattered throughout the island. Interacting with these booths, often shown as computer terminals, provides access to a database containing information about the dinosaurs in that specific area. The game even introduces Drive, Robert T. Backer, a renowned paleontologist who provides simplified explanations about the dinosaurs, useful for players less familiar with the subject. These message booths also contain subtle hints vital for progressing through the game and finding the eggs. The reviewer stresses the importance of checking these points whenever found. This page continues the guide to Jurassic Park on the Mega CD, detailing the initial exploration starting at the visitor center. This hub is crucial for accessing satellite communication, receiving real-time messages from the lab with hints, recording your exploration progress, and saving your game via terminals found inside. Beyond the safety of the center, the island holds many dangers. Exploring areas like the north exposes you to various threats. The guide emphasizes the difficulty of collecting dinosaur eggs, noting that parent dinosaurs guard them fiercely. Screenshots show encounters with dinosaurs near eggs, highlighting the need for quick action. The mechanics of switching between exploration, using the cursor, and using items like the stun gun are explained. It's vital to manage your inventory quickly, as taking too long during a dinosaur attack is dangerous. Retreating to a safe area to prepare your items is a recommended strategy before attempting challenges like egg collection again. The page also hints at hidden items, such as a possible cache in a tree, and the discovery of a jeep, suggesting vehicles play a role. Exploration southward is also teased as important. This page previews the Mega CD title Battle Core, a game focused on operating powerful bipedal robots or mechs. It highlights the fun of controlling these machines and the strategic depth involved in defeating enemies, suggesting it will strongly appeal to fans of the Battletech universe. The article promises an introduction to the game's story demo and various battle stages. Visually, the game seems a standout. The opening sequence is described as highly detailed and impressive. Technical details are shown, illustrating how character models transition from wireframe to textured representations. A section focuses on the dynamic and cool launch scene from an elevator, showcasing slick movement and cool perspective changes, indicating a strong emphasis on visual flair. The game is slated for a late September release from Victor Entertainment, priced at 8,000 yen,
and is a single-player experience. This article expands on the Mega CD game, Battle Core, detailing its 13 diverse stages with missions like reaching destinations and destroying targets in various environments: snow, volcanoes, tunnels, underwater. Specific stage mechanics are highlighted, such as destructible archways, radar-required centipede enemies, and hover enemies in tunnels. A new game from the same developer, Soulstar, is introduced as a 3D shooter with 23 forced scrolling and 17 free-scrolling levels. Soulstar features impressive 3D visuals, including a futuristic corridor and player ship in flight, and potentially two-player co-op. Both games are Victor Entertainment releases, with Soulstar slated for an October release. This page features a special update on Lunar, Eternal Blue, showcasing the game's continued development with new graphics nearing completion. The magazine highlights that despite the summer heat, the development staff are working hard, and the day players can get their hands on the game is approaching. The update features a special appearance from the cheerful character Lemina Osa, whose smile is said to energize readers. A key section focuses on Lemina demonstrating her magic. Initially, her spell is a simple fireball, described as basic but capable of powering up. The article then shows the spell progressing to the Super Napalm, a significantly more powerful version. Screenshots illustrate the battle system and the visual impact of these fire spells against various enemies, showing the progression from a single fiery orb to a devastating area effect attack. The text explains that magic power is gained by winning battles and can be used to power up spells. There's also a note from Game Arts, encouraging the staff despite the heat and mentioning the importance of vitamins. The overall tone is enthusiastic about the game's progress and the featured character. This page delves further into the world of Lunar. The top section continues a comic strip storyline focusing on Galeon from Lunar, the Silver Star, showing his rough side and concluding an arc involving him and Jessica. Below, concept art for Lunar. Eternal Blue is featured, displaying detailed setting designs like a village divided into sections connected by a rope bridge, giving a glimpse into the game's unique world. The reader mail section expresses excitement for Lunar, Eternal Blue, interpreting its inclusion in a Super 32X promotion as a guarantee of release without delays, despite some disappointment about missing a summer release. This page continues with various columns related to Game Arts titles. At the top, there are segments on music composition, likely for Lunar, by Iwatare Noriyuki, and a humorous comic strip featuring a character resembling Galeon, lamenting the pressures of work and referencing other Sega games like Shining Force. The central focus is the 4th Toshiyuki Kubuka Cup illustration gallery, showcasing fan art of male characters from Lunar, Eternal Blue, with a grand prize winner featuring Hyro and runner-ups, including characters like Galeon, Kyle, and Nash, accompanied by comments from character designer Kubuka. Below, a production diary entry details the development progress of Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, during September-October 1993, focusing on finalizing maps and design elements. Game Arts president Satoshi Miyagi provides an update on Lunar 2, emphasizing its huge scale compared to Lunar, the Silver Star, with significantly more dialogue, map data, and animation sequences. The page concludes with a call for readers to vote in a major character popularity poll for the next issue, and the submission address for the section. This page shifts gears entirely, focusing on the high-octane world of motorsports. It features a report on the Suzuka circuit races held on July 3, 1994, highlighting the impressive turnout of 48,000 spectators. The article covers 3 events: the Uno's Roadster One-Make Race, the JTCC Japan Touring Car Championship, and the Suzuka 500 km race. Despite talk of the motorsports boom fading, the article emphasizes that the core enthusiasts remain strong, drawn by the fierce competition. The Suzuka 500 km race saw a dominant performance from the Ferrari F40. The JTCC race, featuring top drivers like Kazuyoshi Hoshino and Aguri Suzuki, is described as intensely battled. The page also notes the excitement of the Uno's Roadster series and looks ahead to the upcoming 1,000 km race featuring Porsches and NSXs. Accompanying images showcase the action on track, the winning teams at the podium, and the ever-popular race queens. It's clear that even beyond video games, the thrill of racing was a major draw for the magazine's audience. This page dives into the vibrant world of the Sega Game Gear handheld console, dated September 8, 1994. It announces the arrival of colorful Game Gear models, including a special red Coca-Cola version and standard yellow and blue units. A new Game Tyne, Coca-Cola Kid, is also mentioned. The page previews several upcoming Game Gear titles, listing games like Popeye's Beach Volleyball, Dunk Kids, Moldorian, Mortal Kombat 2, Crash Dummies 2, Judgment Day, and Pro Baseball GG League 94. Popeye's Beach Volleyball is highlighted, a 2vs2 game described as an unexpectedly niche sport adaptation for the system. It features Popeye powering up with spinach, and includes a collection of various minigames like lifting, hammering, and fishing. Dunk Kids is presented as a 2-on-2nd Street basketball game. The reviewer suggests versus play is the optimal way to enjoy it, noting the single-player experience feels somewhat lacking. Screenshots show street courts and a team selection screen featuring both Japanese regional teams and international squads. The page clearly celebrates the expansion and visual appeal of the Game Gear library. This page showcases new software arriving for the Game Gear. It highlights 5 upcoming titles covering various genres. First up is Mortal Kombat 2, the popular US fighting game port. While it has fewer characters than the arcade, the graphics are praised, and the gruesome fatalities are mentioned. The reviewer notes it's a shame Raiden isn't included. Next, Moldorian, an RPG from Sega, is presented as a must-see fantasy title. It features a wide overworld map and a new real-time battle system, introducing main characters like Navarro and Melia. 2. Judgment Day is discussed, not as the arcade shooter, but as an original side-scrolling action game that faithfully follows the movie's story, putting the player in control of the T-800. The incredible Crash Dummies, based on the American traffic safety characters, are featured in a game imported by Acclaim. Although the characters might seem a bit odd to a Japanese audience, the game includes fun and slightly strange mini-games that are considered worthwhile. Finally, Pro Baseball GG League 94 is the latest installment of the baseball series, featuring updated player data and allowing players to switch between batter and pitcher perspectives during gameplay. This page is a fantastic guide to the hidden special moves in the Sega Mega Drive fighting game, Eternal Champions. It addresses a common query from players who found the manual incomplete, confirming that each character actually has 6 special moves, double what the manual lists. The magazine steps up to provide the commands for these secret techniques. The page features a large table detailing the special and secret moves for many of the game's fighters, including Rax, Jetta, Trident, Midnight, Shadow, Blade, Slash, Xavier, and Larson. It lists the button combinations needed to perform these moves, often involving directional inputs and various button presses. There are also screenshots demonstrating Shadow's smokescreen move, showing the possible locations he can reappear after vanishing. This is a crucial resource for players wanting to master their chosen champion beyond the basics. This page is a fantastic guide for players of the Sega Mega Drive and CD versions of Mortal Kombat. It directly addresses a common complaint that the game manual was incomplete, providing commands for the secret special moves and even ultimate moves not found in the official documentation. The core of the page is a comprehensive list detailing the special techniques for characters like Kano, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Raiden, Sonya Blade, Sub-Zero, and Johnny Cage. For each fighter, it shows the button combinations needed to execute these moves, including directional inputs and attack/block buttons. Beyond just moves, the page offers essential conditions required to encounter the hidden character Reptile, who is a secret fighter in the game. There are also supplementary notes, such as how some special moves can be performed while blocking, and a specific note about Sonya Blade being immune to Johnny Cage's Diamond Crusher attack. This page is a valuable resource for any Mortal Kombat player looking to master the game beyond the basics and uncover its secrets. This page presents a fantastic collection of secret techniques and cheats for several popular Sega Mega Drive/Genesis titles, aimed at helping players get more out of their games, particularly when the official manuals might not cover them. Featured prominently are essential cheats for RoboCop versus the Terminator. These include commands for accessing a weapon select screen, increasing game speed, activating a massive 54 life mode, and even enabling a violence mode, which enhances the game's action. Mastering these button combinations can significantly alter gameplay and help players overcome challenging sections. Moving on, there are tricks detailed for the Sega CD version of Dragon's Lair. These provide ways to make the player character invincible, preventing life loss, as well as enabling autoplay modes that demonstrate the game or allow the player to watch the scenes unfold automatically. Finally, for fans of horse racing games like World Derby, there's a useful tip on unlocking hidden jockeys. By naming your horse with specific preset names listed on the page, special riders become available, potentially offering an edge in races. The page also includes brief mentions of character selection secrets for fighting games, such as Fatal Fury 2 and World Heroes, and a sound test code for another title. This compilation offers valuable insights for players looking to explore the hidden depths of these classic games. This page dives into various cheats and secrets for several classic titles. First up is a stage select for Pulseman, accessed by inputting a specific button sequence on the 2P controller before the title screen appears. This allows players to jump into their favorite stages right away. For NBA Jam on Game Gear, there are commands you can enter at the pre-game screen to power up your players, enhancing abilities like intercepting, providing unlimited turbo, increasing dunking power, starting with fire mode, showing shot percentages, boosting game speed, and improving defense. Next, for Mortal Kombat, a cheat mode can be unlocked from the main menu by pressing a sequence of directions and buttons. This reveals a hidden menu with numerous options, including instantly winning matches, altering visuals like the moon or blood effects, gaining unlimited lives, making the computer always use special moves, and increasing game speed. Finally, for Fatal Fury 2, a code entered at the logo screen activates a cheat mode featuring dip switch settings. These settings allow for invincibility, infinite special moves, preventing pose cancellation, and various effects triggered during poses, such as health recovery or damage reduction. There's also a character select trick offering 48 color options and the ability to select computer-controlled fighters. The page also includes a section asking readers to submit their own cheats for Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear games, with different tiers of prizes for successful submissions. The Neo Geo CD launch is highlighted, showcasing the new controller and software lineup. Zoopapa, an action game focusing on throwing enemies, is previewed. A wide range of SNK-developed titles, mostly ports, priced from 4,800 to 8,800 yen, are slated for release. Key titles like Samurai Showdown 2 and The King of Fighters 94, a significant new fighting game featuring characters from various SNK franchises, are slated for CD release soon after their cartridge releases. Baseball Stars Professional, while having impressive demo screens, is described as having less compelling gameplay. This page is all about the reader presents for the September 1994 issue. They're giving away some cool stuff. Top prizes include 30 copies of your choice of MegaDrive software, shown with a screenshot that looks like Alien Soldier, and 5 Game Gear software titles, pictured with a basketball game. The major hardware prize is a MegaJet, that neat portable version of the Mega Drive, with one lucky winner getting their hands on it. For poster collectors, they have Sega Saturn posters, featuring Sonic and Neo Geo CD posters on offer, given away by Sega and SNK respectively. Plus, you could snag some exclusive t-shirts from developers Compile and Games Sorisu. In the information section, there's talk about the upcoming AM show in September, highlighting arcade games like Virtua Cop, running on Model 2 and STV hardware. They also mentioned the continued focus on next-gen consoles like the Saturn, Mega Drive, and Mega CD as new games head towards the end of the year. The next issue is set to drop on September 8th. There's also a phone line for magazine questions and the list of staff who put this issue together. This page is dominated by the iconic dragon logo of Mortal Kombat, announcing its upcoming release in Japan. The large text translates to God Fist Reborn, Premonition of Battle. The Japanese tagline for the game clearly states the game is scheduled for release on September 9th, with versions for both the Mega Drive and Game Gear listed along with their prices. This is Mortal Kombat, the groundbreaking fighter known for its realistic digitized graphics and controversial fatalities. Brought to you by Midway, and published in Japan by Acclaim. Down below, Acclaim Japan's contact information is provided, alongside smaller advertisements for 2 other games they were releasing around the same time. There's the incredible Crash Dummies, also slated for a September release on Game Gear and Super Famicom. And finally, Virtual Bart, featuring the Simpsons character, scheduled for September on Mega Drive and Super Famicom. The page is essentially a release announcement and advertisement from Acclaim for their September lineup. This page prominently features Mortal Kombat 2,
showcasing the full cast of playable characters including Scorpion, Baraka, Kitana, Raiden, Milena, Kung Lao, Reptile, Johnny Cage, Jax, Liu Kang, Shang Tsung, and Sub-Zero. The large logo and the Japanese subtitle, Ultimate Divine Fist, emphasize the game's intense martial arts focus. Several screenshots display the game's signature digitized graphics and fast-paced fighting action across different stages. Below the main Mortal Kombat 2 display, there are advertisements for other acclaimed titles. The original Mortal Kombat is highlighted as being on sale now in Japan across various platforms including Super Famicom, Game Boy, Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear, with prices listed for each version. Also advertised is Terminator 2: Judgment Day, specifically mentioning a September release for the Game Gear version. Finally, there's Spider-Man and Venom: Maximum Carnage, set for a September release on Mega Drive and an October release on Super Famicom. This page features a prominent display of characters from the popular anime and manga series Yu Yu Hakusho. Ghost Files, including Yusuke, Kuwabara, Hiei, and Kurama. The main focus is on 2 upcoming game releases. For the Mega Drive, we have Yu Yu Hakusho, Meikyu Toitsusen, an action game developed by Treasure, scheduled for September 30th. The standout feature is its support for up to 4 players simultaneously using the Sega Tap accessory, promising intense multiplayer battles with familiar characters and their signature moves, as shown in the action-packed screenshots. Also highlighted is Yu Yu Hakusho 2 for the Game Gear, another action game set for a September 30th release. Screenshots suggest a different gameplay perspective compared to the Mega Drive title, focusing on one-on-one combat. The page also briefly mentions the compact Sega Mega Drive 2 console and a Game Gear bundle featuring J.League GG Pro Striker 94, emphasizing the handheld's portability and color display.